Mm-hmm. And we start with beer.
Okay,
This
all
is
the time.
ever no. Could be. I don't know. I usually do sober October, so probably not next month. But today's
Okay.
what, the 16th. So
Yeah,
fuck it.
16th of September.
Yeah, and this probably won't come out till the 28th. Is it the
Okay.
28th or is it 27th? Next Friday.
You tell us, buddy.
No.
I'm pulling up the calendar right now. That would
I
be the
don't.
27th.
Okay, I was correct. Yeah, that's when it'll come out. All right.
Neato.
You can go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, and all the shit you do, because you be doing a lot.
I do be doing a lot. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sara Reirdan. I'm honestly a car nerd at the end of the day. I build and drift my own car, not very well, but it's very fun. And I am an announcer of grassroots motorsports and drifting, and I really want to move up, and that means FD. So I have some designs on maybe working for them someday, but in the meantime, I announce US Drift, Drift Indy. I do a little work for Drift Appalachia too when they need a hand. So fun stuff.
Did you go this past weekend?
I was not there. What last weekend was Fuel Fest,
Okay.
I think. Okay, that's what was the local event, and then they Drift Indy is next weekend. So when this podcast comes out, let's see. It will have happened last weekend.
Gotcha. That makes
Which
sense.
Yeah,
event
so
is
they're
that?
doing a thing with No Star Bash. I think that's the
Mm.
one. So it's going to be like 2 days of fun drifting and then the comp, which I think is going to be such a fun experience because I've never really done anything like that before. So that's super fun. It's usually one or the other, but whenever you can like combine them, it's like so awesome.
Shout out to all the Midwest boys.
Heck yeah.
I
It's
don't know what
super
Shout
that
out
fun
is.
out there. I
specifically
got to
Corey.
tow my car out to US Air for round two of Drift Indy Street League. And I was like almost in tears for how amazing that track is. Even for like a novice driver like myself, it was so much fun. Like,
That's one of my dream tracks to drive at. The US Air. Will
yeah,
I get there? We'll see.
you can. The guys are so nice. I think it's Club FR that puts those events on. They
Mm.
were so nice and welcoming and like I'm like intermediate, I would say. I'm not a beginner. Like I linked the track eventually, but the elevation change portions was really so the way they had it set up was like going into advanced course reverse. So your like first turn on that course is into an elevation change and I was like, well, not up or shut up, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. I loved it.
I wonder how big is the elevation change? I wonder if it's anything like Horse Thief.
Oh, that's a bucket list track for me. It's pretty aggressive, but it's really tight. So my car was a second gear situation.
What trends do you have? I know you have an LS, right?
T56 and a
Okay.
408.
Okay. Sorry.
So yeah. What's funny is like on the big tracks, my car is so much more predictable in second. I guess it's like slower, so my slow ass can put all the inputs in. Third is like fun, but I'll mess up and then it'll be like catastrophic. I'm like off
Yeah.
course.
Off
Full
into the
commitment
abyss. Yeah.
activity.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's inverted.
Yeah. Exactly.
Never
What?
happened. Oh my god, knock on wood.
It's happened to me.
Yohan,
Oh
you've
my
driven
god.
US Air, haven't you?
No.
No. I
No.
thought you had for some reason.
I wish. I've done like a
Makes
thousand
two
laps
of
in the
us.
Soto probably, but like,
I know. That's.
I want to get there.
I guess that's
I
where I
wanna get
have
there for
driven
sure.
it, but you can't really tell the elevation change. At
No,
least,
it's not the same.
yeah, I would imagine because the one on Horse Thief Mile for Assetto is like, I guess you can visualize it, but you don't feel it. I guess I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
No,
You
It,
not
can't really
really.
feel the elevation change.
it's a weird feeling being in the car and doing it. It's hard to describe. I thought it was gonna mess me up more, but I had just softened my suspension, so maybe that helped me out a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
still
Gotcha.
learning suspension inputs and changes, so I will say that's where I'm a little bit of a beginner on.
That's my
But
whole jam.
okay, maybe I can learn
Love
from
that
you.
stuff. I don't know. I don't think you want to learn anything, but it's all right. We'll figure it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
US Airs, that track is actually pretty crazy. I think my favorite layout on there is the Super D one
Okay.
from like 2016, but it's
Okay.
it's like comp. It's pretty sick.
Okay. Yeah, they were running. So I was out there for the comp, and that was on Saturday, and they were running it one direction. And then they did like a staff day, fun day, and I actually trailered my car out there. It ended up being like 16 hours or something ridiculous. Um,
Jesus. Could have fucking
yeah.
paid me to do that.
I am such a weirdo. I love a good road trip. Because I love music so much. So I'm just like, my playlist, other people's playlists, day list. Hey, I DJ for some reason, even though it's terrible. And like, I'm jamming out. I'll call my friends and just be like, what are you doing? What's going on? I'm bored. I got 10 hours left.
Oh. Actually, that's not true. I did a road trip this year with the family, like with my son and
Yeah.
my girlfriend, and we
Yeah.
went from LA to Laughlin, Laughlin to Vegas, Vegas and back.
Okay.
And that was probably like a good 10-hour round trip, maybe a little longer with all the
Yeah.
stops. But luckily, no one killed each other on that trip. So we're all
Good.
still alive. Uh, I feel like I'm more of like a loner when it comes to like a long road trip. I can be fine by myself, but if I have too many people with me, I'll be like, I don't like your music. Can you shut that shit off? Because
Yeah, you're
you gotta
done.
rotate it. You gotta rotate it.
Yeah, for real.
Um,
Everybody's got
I've
to suffer equally.
Yes, 100%. And
Like,
some people just they get voted off the island. Like your music tastes ass. You're done. Like you may not join this. I didn't
yeah.
know you could join a jam. Like you don't have to hand your phone to someone else. Like you can get in a jam on Spotify and like get down with that. That's fun. But usually I am by myself on a road trip. So I'll be either by myself completely, which I've done a couple times,
Mm.
or I'll be like one of the trucks and trailers in and amongst other homies. But I'm just like,
Oh, like a convoy situation.
yeah, yeah. So, some friends and I went down to Mid Pond last winter. We're going again this year, and that was
Hmm.
the time I towed with a bunch of people, which was fun because like you're not having anxiety. Like I'm gonna blow a trailer tire or seven.
Yeah.
Like one trip, I brought as many trailer spares as I brought drift spares, and I made less
Jeez.
power, so it was like not that big of a deal. But I was just chuckling, like, how many trailer tires am I expecting to blow on this trip?
I've
I
seen so
love
many
Mid
like
Pond.
horror stories though with other
Me
drivers
too.
doing that. That's what I see why you would do it. It makes sense.
Yeah. And that was out to Indiana to, well, it's funny, the Riverside event. Ryan Meyer is a good friend of mine, so I went out and brought my car out there, and that was like the first really long road trip I did by completely by myself, and that's when I brought all those random spares out for some reason. Didn't blow a
Yeah.
tire though.
So now you got to take them all back home.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Oh god. I think I hate the long trips just due to like you got to do that same long trip going back home.
Oh
You know what I
yes,
mean?
I was
It's
just
like
gonna
get in
say
there.
that.
It's like yeah, get in there.
Like the
It's like
way
whatever.
out, you're like stoked and you're jazzing, you're like jamming out, you're like, I can't wait to shred, like and then way back, you're like, I'm sunburned, I'm tired.
I have a fucking 9-hour drive. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's not as
Yeah,
fun. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
I try to scam my friends into driving home
yeah,
so I don't have to. I'm
I
like,
should
dude, I've been
start doing
driving all
that.
weekend.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man.
I know.
Come
I'm
on,
like a
dude.
prima donna over here. Like the farthest track for me that I've driven to is an hour and a half away. Whether it's
Yeah.
AVS or Willow Springs, like they're each an hour
Oh,
and
those
30
are
minutes
some
away from me.
those are some good
Nice.
tracks.
And Irwindale's 10 minutes from my house.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I will see you at
Nice.
Irwindale then, right?
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
got
bought
like
a ticket
a
yet.
I got like a minimum 4 hour drive to any track,
Oh,
literally any track,
that's a bummer.
any single one.
Is
Yeah,
that your
it's crazy.
setup too, or do you have a track, like a home track that's close?
I'm spoiled,
I have
and I
no.
was very like club loose only for a while. Not on for any particular reason. It's just that track's an hour away. I actually used to live a
Makes
mile down the
sense.
street from it. That's where I learned to drift. I had never like drifted on the street or anything before that. My first ever time in a drift car was like at that track on backtrack.
Oh, okay.
And then, you experience it and you're like, okay, I want to see what drifting is about in other parts of the world and other tracks. And I was like scared to drive other tracks at first because it's like that's the one you're comfortable with. And I'm so glad, like, I think last year or maybe the year before was like the first time I started to really look at other ones. And I'm so glad I did because it's so fun.
What's the furthest track you've actually gone to?
I would say that's probably US Air. Like, that was like 16 hours. I do stop a lot though. Like if my truck makes I'm alone. So if my truck makes any sort of weird thing, I'm like, pulling over, we're checking it out.
Do you drive an older truck too?
No, I mean, it's a newer F-150, but I'm just, again, you hear all the horror stories about people's trucks exploding,
Dude,
like
for
brand
real.
new Fords exploding, or like their transes are not great. You know, it is what it is. If they're known for that, and or like blowing a trailer tire, or like I've seen somebody's like shackle fall off the leaf spring on the trailer. So I'm
Oh
very,
shit, that's
yeah.
fucking
I'm
crazy.
granted, is that ever gonna happen? Probably not. But
I sure should hope not.
I'm so paranoid about it that if I hear anything, so I will say that I probably took my time to get out there, but that one was about 17 hours. But then all the way down to Alabama to Mid Pond was another probably like 13, 12 hours. It's a long drive.
Jesus,
Yeah.
that's. I'm not looking forward to that. I kind of want
That's
to do
why.
No Coast next year, but
Okay.
it's far.
How far?
New Mexico. So I don't know. Let me Google that. I don't even know what track that's at.
Dude, Google it. Pull it up. We need like
Suica
a.
Circuit, dude.
Huh?
Suica Circuit. That's a new name.
You're gonna have to spell it because that's is it SWEEKA?
No, it's Suika.
Ooh, stunning.
Yeah, it used to be Sandia Speedway.
Let's see how long it would take to get there.
You guys need like a podcast assistant, like you know when that one
Yes,
comedian's always like Riley man.
Jamie, pull it up, Jamie. Yeah,
Where is
we
that?
don't have that. We don't. We're
One
I don't
day.
know if you know this. None of these make money.
No, they don't. But it's fun. It's like a way to catch up with homies, and I think
Absolutely.
anyway.
I've probably like made more. I'd say acquaintances, maybe a handful of friends, like
Yeah.
off of a podcast. Mostly just acquaintances, and then some people I've never talked to again or have no interest in talking to ever again. Like the conversation was rough.
You don't have to say names, but you were ever just like you got off the pod and you're like, oh no.
Fuck me. Yeah, one of them's currently on the Pro One. So
Oh, okay. Well, so I will give a free pass. Like drivers are interesting creatures, and if they're like really good at driving, they almost don't have to be like good at other stuff. Like I've
I
interviewed
think
a few, and I'm like, "How's the track feel?" And they're like, "This feels real good."
put it this way: I've met them in person afterwards, and they're still
Yeah,
just as awkward, which is fine. And then you meet their sibling, who is off the fucking wall, batshit crazy. Great personality to be around. Those are two different things I've noticed.
yeah. I'm like narrowing it down. I'm like, all right, pro driver, pro one, sibling, currently driving.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few
It's a
guesses, but
handful.
I won't say them.
Don't.
Yeah.
But
That
yeah.
track is 13 hours from me.
Are you going to SEMA?
I don't know yet. So I work for an automotive aftermarket company, but they're still smaller, and we all know how expensive SEMA booths are. I've been
It's
in the
not
past.
cheap.
No, and
Yeah.
I've been in the past with other companies I work for. So I don't think my job is going, but I might go with some of my side hustles to see,
Yeah.
you know, hustle up some stuff. So I might go with Drift Indie to help
Nice.
them out, you know, because I'm great at yapping. I'm like a staple at a dinner. You want to laugh, take a couple shots, have a good time? Call me up.
You know, I feel like I can't do it. Like I went with a few. RJ, I don't know if you RJ Contreras, the owner of Big Duck Club,
I've heard his name, but I don't think I've ever met him.
and he owns half of Hop Pit. Anyways, I was with him last year, and the way he like just can go up to anybody and talk to them out
Yeah.
of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
He had his whole spiel going like, "Hey, this is what we're doing," blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And I was like, "How the fuck do you do that? Like, I cannot talk to these people." I was like, if I was trashed, I could probably maybe pull something out of my ass.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not somebody who's just gonna go up and start talking and try to pitch a sale to you.
Yeah. It's a talent. Like I was really
Oh, he's
shy
good at it.
growing up. So like I definitely had to learn how to talk to people and like get out of your shell, you know?
I'd rather not. I'd rather talk to people like this. This works. I'm
Yeah.
in the comfort of my own home. They're in the comfort of wherever the fuck they are, and we're golden.
You can always hang up.
Yep. And exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
this is getting weird.
Oh,
End call.
it's breaking up. Sorry.
Yeah. Actually, I had
Um,
like a few episodes ruined, like
Oof.
that
Yeah.
in the early days.
Gotta crack a couple eggs to make an omelet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have a BMW, but I do greatly enjoy Big Duck Club's kits for E36s. Like I can appreciate the body, you know?
That's fair.
It looks good.
That's fair. Yeah,
Good hips.
they use my car to make the E90 kit, so my
Oh
car is a
yeah.
complete mess right now. Yeah, it's they do a lot of work to it because they make them pretty much. They use their E92 kit that they cut up and then molded to my car.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they did that, then they made the templates for it and everything, so they can make the molds. So my car is a fucking mess.
Oh boy, just
Yeah,
like gooey all over or what?
it's a lot of bondo. There's a
Oh
lot
god.
of they have to like prep the surface, so there's like a lot of paint stuff involved.
Ah, jeez.
I mean, you can't complain when you're getting a free kit, so it
Mm.
comes at a price.
And those are pricey, but I think they're done really well. That's why. But that's just me.
They're not too expensive. I feel like they're super competitive with like the 2F prices. Like if you
Okay.
do like a full rear delete
Yeah.
situation,
My car
they're
has a
like
two
right
F
there.
rear, like whole rear, like the even the bezel that holds the taillights. Because I let somebody drive my car 2 years ago, and they stuffed it, like
Oh shit, really?
stuffed it. Yeah. Well, my car is a lot to handle. It makes a good amount of power. It's very light, and it's the way I had it aligned back then was super twitchy. Because again, I was telling you, I'm not like super knowledgeable about suspension setups. I'm still learning.
Mm.
And they were just getting like overly confident and forgot that that car will kill you if you like. You cannot sleep on the wheel for a second. Like a BMW, I'll see my friends drive and they're kind of just like chilling on the wheel, just chilling. In my car, you have to just be like every input all the time, and if you like let it sleep for a second, you're gonna die. I've since fixed that a little bit. It'll drive itself a little bit more now. I don't want to blame it all on the kid, but he got a little silly. He was killing it, and I was like, "Yeah, take another lap, kill these tires, and come in." And it was like, the ye old one more lap, and he just got too deep in a K rail and just back corner, front corner, like back glass smashed. The whole hatch is pushed in.
Oh
They had to
shit.
stop the whole event, like pull it out with a machine. And I went from being like, yay, to like, oh my God, no. But, that's on me because I said, go drive my car. So it cracked I had this like junk fuel cell in it, cracked
Mm.
that. I had to do a whole new fuel setup, a tube rear. Ended up getting it caged because the front was already tubed and then the rear's tubed. So like I would make the weak point the driver compartment. That sounds dumb. I'm
Yeah,
not sure that would pass any
yeah.
tech, but
What is all done to that thing? I know
oh
you're an LS swap T56, but
yeah.
what suspension are you running on that?
BC. I love BC. They're great. They've always been good to me. I since went with a softer spring setup,
Hmm.
just for the feel a little bit and better setup coils for the iron block LS that's in it. Because if you buy just a regular like set of coilovers and you don't make any changes to them, it's meant for that KA up front. So it's like
Yeah, the very
not set
light
up. Yeah.
KA. Yeah.
But so basically, what happens is I've overbuilt that car. I did the cardinal sin of building the crap out of it instead of driving it. I
Same.
got it from a junkyard. It had no motor in it, and I should have just slapped something easy in there and went and got my seat time. But I originally put a VQ in, which was a very like long and in-depth swap. And I'm old, so this was back before everyone was doing it. This was like, God, like 2011.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
I had a lot of custom stuff done to it. I was building it for a long time. And then from there, I would just find something wrong, upgrade, find something wrong, upgrade. And like I accidentally built like a whole Pro-Am chassis. Like it's crazy. So it went from having the VQ, I blew up 3 of those and I was like, you know what, I'm done. And I was helping out with a pro spec team at the time and seeing how easy it was to work on an LS platform. And they would like run to AutoZone and get an alternator. Like it was so simple.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get one out of a junkyard. And that was my first like ground up engine build, which was really, really cool and interesting. And I learned a lot. And then from there, it was like the front end was really rusty. So like tube front. Then I made it so I could pull the rod support out. And so I could swap engines easier because I was used to having VQs that I would be pulling an engine every couple of events. And then
Jeez.
the stock fuel tank had a bunch of rust in it. So, and it clogged my injectors and blew the motor one time, or at least I think it did, but when it was VQ. So then I'm swapping the fuel tank out, but a new tank for an S chassis is like $800, and a fuel
Oh
cell is
shit.
A cheap
Eight
one
hundred
off.
dollar.
Oh, at least, and that was back in like, geez, like 2014 or 15.
Mm.
So it might be even more expensive now, and so it was cheaper to just grab like a cheap sell off Summit, but that one wasn't legal because it didn't have like a bladder in it.
Mm.
So now I have a legal one, which was a little more expensive when the crash happened. So I've just been slowly upgrading. So basically, to short answer your question, it's a 5.3 iron block. It's bored 30 over because I have a funny story about when I got it out of the junkyard. It was a little rusty on the inside, but whatever. And then T56 stock rear, just a welded diff. Stock axles. Everyone keeps asking me if I explode axles, and I don't. But I think it's because of my driving style. I'm more of like a float it in there, use the throttle e-brake, than like clutch dumping it all the time. And so that might be, I rarely like shock it, which I need to learn how to do more of because I think it would improve my driving. But I have not broken a bunch of axles. I think that is the reason why. It's fully caged, fully tubed. It's basically like short of a fire suppression system, like pretty legal for most series. Still has the stock steering column, so I know that was a sticking point for some series. I think it's a sticking point for FD. It
Yeah, for
makes
the
like a
pro spec.
yeah, it makes just under 400. So
That's a
it's
terrible.
more than enough for me, and it's stock heads, stock injectors. So I could continue to upgrade that motor and make a bunch more power. I think, but
Are you on the
it's more.
706 heads?
No, so they're whatever the stock iron block 5.3 heads. So it's like
Yeah, the
two something.
706.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. It's weird. It's not the good ones. Whatever the shittiest ones are, those are the ones I have.
that's the ones you got. I want.
Yes.
I have a. So I have a 6 liter
Okay.
aluminum block, but I want to switch to the 706 heads, which I have a set of.
Yeah.
Because essentially what it does, it robs you of like 10 horsepower at the top,
Okay.
but it brings up everything at the bottom up like 15 to 20. So
Yeah.
instead of like your power band is like a lot, maybe it's lower or
Right.
it's more consistent. Whereas like right here is where my 706 would be, and right here is where my 243, but it falls off. But let's
Okay.
just say the 706 starts to fall off, and you know how your engine starts to bog down.
Yeah.
It puts you back into your power band.
Nice. I should probably do that. I have just like a dumb fat cam just because I wanted one.
So do I, for
Yeah.
no reason.
No reason other than I was like, if I'm gonna have a V8, I'm gonna have a V8, right?
It does
Like
cool shit. Yeah, it sounds like a boat going
sounds
down the fucking.
I was forced to put a muffler on it because they're like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like the first day I showed up with it, I'm like, I know, isn't it dope? And they're like, no, it's not.
What kind of exhaust do you have?
It was just like whatever that ISR like it. I don't want to talk crap on a brand. It's a cheap exhaust, and for the price, it's perfectly
Inexpensive.
fine. Yeah, exactly.
Inexpensive.
Right, and I'm very much function over form. So I was like, if it
Same.
works, it's a straight piece of tubing, like good enough. So that was fine. So, but yeah, it just sounds so sick. It's bored over. It's got oversized pistons. It had Gen 4 rods, so I kept the rods, kept the crank, and then just the fattest cam known to man. It's a BTR like stage 4, something ridiculous. Like it does not idle, like at all, and it's fine that way. Sure, I look like a dumbass getting off the trailer, but just wait till it warms up.
I know Yoan's a little left out in this because he doesn't have an LS. He's still on the stock BMW stuff. But I do have like a stage 3 supercharger cam from was it Texas Speed,
Okay.
and it's an NA car on nitrous.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but it
Okay.
sounds cool.
That's the
Yeah,
point.
it sounds good. It's gonna do the thing regardless.
Sometimes I think it's okay to do a mod to the car that you know is not like the best, but if it makes you happy, then send it. You know?
Yeah, I tell myself that all the time.
I'm trying to think of a mod that I just will hate on regardless. I can't think. Maybe too much camber, like on a street car. Maybe I'll hate on that a little bit.
That's fair. Sometimes they look good, like a super flush looking car. Like the
Yeah,
fitment looks great, but
yeah,
then you
Yeah,
have the
flush.
excessive camber.
Yeah,
And
right.
what was that do with the
they called.
RX-8? That baby blue RX-8
Don't
that
even
like
Oh,
speak his
got
name.
caught on fire. Like that was horrible.
I
Yeah, and he
know.
jumped it on the trailer.
Oh,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
hate
that's
watching
crazy.
those
Yeah,
videos.
yeah. They call that
Oh,
Sudani.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cringe. It
it's
does
stupid.
piss me off.
Yeah,
it's pretty cringe. Oh man, that and like tow hooks on a streetcar. I'm
mm,
the stance community is gonna come for my throat. You can make fun of me in the comments, please. It's fine. I have
they're out
horrible
here
fitment.
crash prone.
We don't get any. You're fine. This is the second episode.
So, who do you take your car to like get alignments and stuff now in
So
2024?
in 2024. So my one of my good friends works for another aftermarket company in the area, and I usually
Hmm.
pay him under the table to do the alignment because
Nice.
I can't really go to like a regular alignment place because I'll
Hmm.
be like, hey, I want to do this, and this, and they're like, yeah, our things don't even go that high. Like the machine at my work won't even go over 7 degrees of caster, and I want like 7.5. Like I'm not being greedy. Let me just have a little bit more.
Yeah. You ever been to Faction or anything like that?
So I was on the Faction podcast, and I love those guys. I was on the episode
Yeah.
where we were making fun of Frankie for eating granola.
Yeah.
And like to this day, every time I reply to their Instagram story and I'm like, I'll make a granola joke, he's like, I will block you. They're about 2 hours from me, maybe a little more. I would love to get an alignment
Yeah.
done
That's
by them.
yeah, it's a bit
Yeah, my friend
excessive to be getting
Daryl is
alignment.
my friend Daryl, his roommate Carl works there. You probably know Carl.
I do.
Yeah. They're roommates and whatnot.
And they were
And they seem to
roommates.
do good work over there.
They do. I would go maybe in the off season and like start my season with one of their alignments. Like set me
Yeah.
up right, boys. Like let's figure out what's
Nice
going on
baseline.
here. Yeah.
Here I am
Definitely
doing it
helps.
on fucking what are those little tiles that I do it on? The
Oh, those
linoleum
scales?
tiles? No,
Oh,
Yeah.
linoleum
okay.
tiles and a measuring tape.
Nice. I
Oh,
mean,
and a
everybody,
string.
you can get
I
behind a
stole it.
toe and go. Little toe
Yeah.
action. Make sure it's
That's
good.
that was given to me. I don't know if you know who Nate Hauk is from Bink Industries. He used to do
Oh,
Odie's
gee.
team. Yeah,
Okay.
he. Do you know who June Meng is? Have you heard the name?
Yes.
He's the reason rear radiators exist.
Oh no. I feel like some
That's
people probably want to fist fight him.
who Nate. No,
The
well maybe
inventor of rear radiators.
everyone loves it. Everyone's doing it.
Well,
Uh,
everyone's doing it, but I think it's a point of contention. Like people either love it or they hate it. You
that's
know?
fair. They love it because it works. Where like if you back into something or
Hmm.
you have a big wreck, you're good.
I
Um,
know. Hey, pause. I know plenty of guys that do not. It does not work.
Yeah.
You know, like they're like, oh, I'm having all these overheating issues, and it's like, well, you added like feet and feet and feet of lines.
oh,
Yeah.
it's you know what I did that too. The first
Yeah,
time I didn't separate the like I didn't shroud it correctly, so I didn't
yeah.
separate the hot air from the cold air.
Hmm.
So it had a clear escape for hot air, and it had cold air coming in, and I
Okay.
kept overheating.
Mm.
All I did was put cardboard in there, and Rome told me to do this.
Yeah.
Rome's like,
Seal
just
it
put
off
cardboard in
better.
there. Yeah, and all of my overheating issues went away.
Boom.
That was it.
Gone.
I need to do that to mine more
It was at a
because
trackside fix too.
nice.
Yeah, it was. It never had a problem again.
Yeah, I can't
That's good.
hot lap, which I think I probably should be able to do. I also might be being a baby about temps. Like I
Are you
won't
rear
go out.
radiator?
No, I'm front, but I have like whatever shroud I could find, kind of like slapped in there, and I'm like, ain't
Ooh,
good enough.
do you have
What's
hood
your what?
vents? You
No,
have a
I have
lot of.
like they're gonna come for me for this too. So back when it was VQ and there wasn't a good mount kit, so it was like an SR mount that I cut up and put some spacers in. The plenum like sticks up so far in the back, so
Mhm.
I just like cut the hood along the factory lines and spaced it up, so it's like a reverse cowl. It looks like a Mustang. It's so ugly, but that's what I still have to this day. So not enough, probably.
What
Uh,
what is it idle at? Do you know? Like
Well,
What's
it'll
your
if I'm not
range?
trying to take laps, it'll idle like 170, maybe even colder. But then if I'm like hot lapping, once I take like 2 3 laps, and like I am very aggressive with the throttle, so that might be on me. But it'll be 220, 230, and then I can usually like take a cool down lap, and then it'll be back in like 212, 210, and then I'll be like, good enough. I'd love it to idle at 190, but
That's like operating temp.
yeah, everyone keeps telling me that for an LS, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, dude, they're ovens. They're literally steel ovens. That's what they want.
Yeah, and I only overheated and like puked coolant out one time this year, and it was 100% me being selfish. Like I was at 220 something on the line, and I was like, I just want one more lap. Like I know I can get this good. And then I'm like, oh
Uh,
no, I think I'm overheating, and I'm like giving the sign to get off track, like hurrying up so that they don't yell at me for dumping coolant on water, wetter, and water on the track, and I'm like trying to get back to the pits, and it's like puking coolant out.
I'll have
Oh.
you. I'll have you know that the stock CTSV computer only turns the second fan on at 230 degrees.
That's Banana Town, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't agree. I don't like that. I have
Nope.
mine on a toggle because I know better
And
than
those are
you,
aluminum
computer.
blocks. Um, yeah, it's 230 is when it kicks on, which is wild. When I did the,
yeah, they love heat.
they sure do. When I did the Terminator situation, I put everything on. I think the first fan comes on at like 185, and the second fan comes on at like 200, and that thing it never saw like over 210. And then, but I
Wow.
didn't drive it enough, so
Okay. Well, I might do it. All right. So all this
throw
LS
it.
talk. What do you run?
Dude, I have an M54 B30. That's it.
Nice. I
But
feel
it's a
like
nitrous
keeping it
car.
simple is probably the better way to go.
You forgot that the good stuff.
The nitrous. It's a nitrous car.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good car, man. I had it with a 2.5 before spraying it to the moon, and it just loved it.
Yeah.
Uh, it died sitting in the pits
Oh
while it was running.
no.
Um, it was mainly because the fan stopped working. I was in the driver's meeting, and I just loved it running.
Oh
Came
boy.
back, and that thing was fucking cooking.
Oh,
It was
that's how it
crazy.
blew up. I don't
Dude,
think
Yeah,
we
dude.
ever had this conversation, so I'm learning right now too.
I have
Yeah,
trust issues. I can't let
that
it
was at the
idle.
Chelsea event in
Oh.
Texas.
You're trying to
Yeah.
impress him. You're like, look at my car still running.
Not look, this thing can idle forever.
He's like, no, it can't.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It was still running though when I got there.
It
It
was just
wasn't
the
like
one time. Like, of course, it was the one time. You're like, look, this thing can idle forever, and it's like the fan just
the,
quits.
the crazy part was it was cold in the morning because it's December, and it got hotter throughout the day. But I was like, I want to warm the car up before we, go drive and shit. Because I
Yeah,
have like 5 homies here. We're gonna go crazy. I'm like,
yeah.
I need to warm this shit up and be responsible. Come back, yeah, murder scene.
You
It
didn't
was
even get to
crazy.
drive it that day?
I still drove it.
It can
Yeah,
overheat a little as a treat. It's probably fine.
yeah, as a treat, dude. That thing had a blown head gasket. It was straight peanut butter in there, but I kept doing it. So like it would start boiling, and I would just like turn it off, But get these
Oh
laps,
boy.
I
That's
I've
still see
crazy.
clips from that event too.
Oh, do you? What
Yeah,
is that?
it's
All
pretty
that
good,
thing needs right now is a motor, or do you need it? Do you need
bro. That
to?
thing, I swapped that motor at my job already. I swapped the motor, finished the motor swap, basically, painted the car in a week, and then we went to Mid Pond for my friend's birthday party event in June,
Oh,
and that's
that's
the
the
last time
event
I
you drove
drifted it.
home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nice,
So it got a 3.0 and became the flame car. So
nice.
that's
Love a good flame
that's the
car.
vibe. Flame vibes. We're out here. We're 2003 rich right now.
2003 Rich, and they're ghost flames too.
Period. Correct.
There you go.
Just trying to do the thing.
Love that. That's too funny.
Yeah, Gerald needs to finish his car maybe so we can do some driving eventually.
It'll get done, hopefully within the next 2 months. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
that's what I keep telling myself.
Same, dude. I've extended this thing like fucking 6 times this whole
Do
year.
do you guys want to laugh? I'm 2 events on no oil ring in cylinder 6.
What do you mean
Let
no
it
oil
bang,
ring?
dude.
Dude, okay, so I said how I drive, right? A little bit aggressive. Sometimes when I'm trying to drive beyond my abilities, I end up like wrecking pretty hard. So I went off course at mid pond, hilariously enough, and the edge of the track's kind of wild there. So I had like cracked the oil pan just a little bit, and so I was like, oh, I'll just drop the oil pan. I'm gonna have my friends at work weld it, toss them some bucks, and I'll put everything back together, get ready for this event, right? So I drop the oil pan and I take a gander down in there, and I'm like, oh no, oh no, 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 and it's like chunks, like big
Uh,
chunks of ring, and I'm like,
Ooh,
dude, but it is like the wobbly boy. It is 100% an oil ring. I know there's probably a technical term for that, but you know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Just
I know what
the
you're talking
big guy.
about.
Okay,
The
so
yep,
and I like dropped the windage tray. I'm like looking up in it. I'm just like, how bad is it? Like, oh my god, like something. I'm like panicking, and then my friend's like, dude, like it's a LS. Like just run it. I'm like, is he
it's just
being
a little bit of
dramatic or
blow
is he
by.
right?
you
So,
can order an oil ring.
so I could. I would definitely also need a piston, and the piston is special order because it is 30 over. It's a big boy.
You
So
can
I'm
buy
like
one.
I could. I'm doing the math. I'm like, I'm looking up. I'm seeing some stuff is a little crunchy up there. It is what it is.
Uh huh.
And I'm like, you know what? I have two options here. I can pull the motor, repair, get another piston, get the rings, like fix everything the right way. I'm missing this event. And that's probably the end of my season. Or, oh, by the way, compression perfect across every single cylinder down to the PSI.
Yeah,
Oil
because it's an
pressure,
oil ring, not a compression ring.
right? I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the important part is. Like, does it have compression? Absolutely, it does. Oil
Does it?
pressure, perfect oil pressure, like over 40 psi. Like, it's fine.
Technically, right now, it's getting more oil than it needs.
Right. And I would
Yeah,
like
you're
to
Yeah, I
golden.
got
add,
you. I
there
got you.
we
What you need?
go. There we
I got
go.
you, dude. I got you. Hold on. You're good.
And
Are
then,
those
Here
five
we
three
go.
pistons?
dude,
Yeah, dude.
stop.
No, they're
Dead
not.
ass.
Are they really?
Dead ass.
Wait, what
Check
gen?
the specs, bitch.
Why do you have V8 parts, Mr. BMW boy? What are you doing
Hey,
down there? You
man.
got something to tell
Listen,
us?
He's got plans.
I'm a special guy, dude. I got the specs right here. These are Pro True SBC LS series.
You
Whatever that
scumbag.
means.
You're
30
hoarding
over?
LS
Yeah.
parts.
These are 7 pistons, and here's this thing. Oh, you can't even see the bend, but it's super fun.
Oh,
Did somebody
oh
give you
no.
a broken motor?
No, this is from the SS. You know the blue SS? That's on my
Vaguely.
page.
Stop.
Vaguely.
That is my dream
Yeah.
car.
Oh no, not that. The truck.
Okay.
The-
All right.
yeah, the
A Chevy
Silverado
SS is my
SS.
dream car. I'm going to get a dumb
Yeah, they're
fat
pretty
cam,
good.
LSA blower, bolt that buddy on there, and then it's going to be like stock looking, and I'm just going to clap cheeks
Yeah.
on the way to work. Anybody that wants a
Big
little
fan
something.
of those cars.
I
Yeah.
hate that stock looking portion. Coming from the CTSV community, there everybody was like, "I want a sleeper." I'm like, "It's not a sleeper. Everyone knows it's a V."
Yeah, dude.
Sorry.
Like, fuck.
Stop being a
You can
scumbag.
tell.
Go get some wheels. Because I'm tired of you guys, especially the first gen CTSV community. They're like too lazy to actually do like the hub swap. And all you have to do is change the hubs and re-drill the rotors. That's all you got to do. And everybody is like, "I'm not doing that. That's not safe." And I was like, "Everyone's done it. A
Right.
thousand
Bushel
people have done it.
definitely has
None
the
of them
best
have ever
V I've
crashed
seen.
because of it. Stop being a loser." It's my pet peeve with the CTS community.
A little bit of light
Shout out to
bullying
them.
is fine to do to the community just to keep everybody on their toes.
Yeah, I
Do as much
hear.
bullying as you want, really. Just
That's fair.
let it bang.
I got
The
bullied
thing-
out of that car without even someone bullying me, which is fucked up.
It bullied him out of
It
it.
sure did. It sure did. That's how I ended
The
up in
hill
this car.
the bullying hill I die on is the guys who are like, "Oh, you like comps? Like, oh, that's so lame. Oh, you do comps? That's lame." Like, dude, Who cares? Like, of course, yes, I support comps because I think competitive drifting is cool and I enjoy it. And if you don't, that's chill,
You
right?
can't
But you
have
don't,
one without the other.
right? You don't see me being like, oh, you do style events? You do toge only? Like,
Nobody
stop
think
that.
That's like
nobody thinks about what other guys do except the guys that aren't really.
Yeah.
I agree
There's
with
a
that.
lot of hate on comp. There's like a lot more than I expected.
It's crazy.
But and
Like
then none of the comp guys are ever saying anything negative about grassroots. Like no one's like,
No.
"You do grassroots? How lame is that?" Like no one says
Yeah.
that.
No, and then like
Yeah,
I've had plenty of pro guys
nobody
show
says
up
that.
to grassroots events and like kick it with the homies. It literally English Town has Pro Bro Down is the Sunday after FD where the pro guys kick it with us regular folk.
I
Like
think it's
greatest
like a
place on earth.
superiority complex. Like I'm better than you because I choose to do this as a hobby, as like you're trying to make something of it.
I'm better than you because I can spend money on paint, and that's all that matters, allegedly.
By the way, I only drive twice a year.
yeah, no, so
They
I
leave that part
will
out.
yeah. I will take the bullying because my car is
Yeah.
ugly. I know it's
Mm,
ugly. And I'm still
yeah,
like, that's something I want to work on this winter. Get a nice looking car. I'm trying my best. So, like, yeah, you can give me a hard time that my car is ugly. And I'll give you a hard time, like, okay, if you think you can run the man line, let's see you out at a grassroots comp. Just put your money where your
Yeah.
mouth is. Come run us at the Gambler.
you mean the bro line,
Or even
Yeah, I'm sorry, the
the
bro
bro
line.
line.
the
The
bro
bro
line,
line.
Joe. Sorry.
Or just pull up to the track and run hard doors with the bros
Yeah,
and the ladies.
dude, we're
You
all
know,
bros. We're all dudes at the end of the
yeah,
day.
kind of, sort of, yeah. But
Yeah,
we're here. We're doing
we
the thing.
we out here.
What's that one song? I'm a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes. Yeah,
Literally.
can't remember
Literally.
what movie that's from. Uh but yeah, they do. Some people do kind of have that stigma. What is that? The keep drifting fun movement.
Right. And
Yeah,
I'm never gonna like in my mind it's not grassroots events versus comps. It's just two sides of the same sport, in my opinion.
it's one realm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one realm. We're all doing the same dumb thing on track. We're
Hmm.
spinning the wheels,
Yeah.
burning rubber.
Yeah.
We're driving in cursive, dude. Like we look fucking.
There you go.
It
I
looks
love
cool as
that.
shit, regardless of how you do it. Like it's
Yeah,
yeah.
fine.
agreed.
And I
It's
know
crazy.
like, US Drift runs a bunch of random events, like fun events. They run a street league. Drift Indy runs a street league where it's like super strict. They like there's maybe one former pro guy that shows up and they judge him so hard. And like, you know what? As they should because he was a former pro guy. But there's
You talking about
Jeff Jones puts on Hot Pit. Isn't that his? Am I speaking out of my ass?
No, that's his, and
Okay.
RJ's the guy I told you about earlier.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
everybody's giving back because at the end of the day, like it's easy to put the pro guys on a pedestal, but as I like to say about myself, like we're all drifting nerds. We're all car nerds at the end of the day. We were
Have you
sitting
been
here
to one of
like,
those?
no, I would love to go.
Have
I
you
would love to
watched?
go. Yeah, I've watched some live streams and I've talked to Jeff Jones before and of course I was like, you should have me announce and he's like, that'd be cool, but like you're on the other coast, idiot.
And I and
I'm
I
like,
and I
Yeah.
got
okay.
Shout out to Jeff Jones.
something he would say, and then he and he's like, I already got a host. Thanks, though.
Well, they're not me. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's good to have more than one too. Get
Yeah,
two,
that's
get
fair.
three.
So, yeah, cycle it in, kick somebody off of there,
Yeah.
kick some bum off of there, get somebody new in.
Hey, just in the spirit of it'll never be a yes if you don't ask. I just kind of
Oh, really?
ask.
Who? Yoan?
I don't know. I don't really give a shit.
Is there shade
I don't know.
happening?
I don't know who the hosts
Talk
are
about it later.
actually.
Talk about it later.
Okay, all right, my bad. See, so let me just be the political respectable response, which is that I'm never trying to take anybody's job, but like always offering to lend a hand. Like everybody who doesn't know me, like I'm
There's
just
room for more.
right. I'm so humble. If you were like, hey Sarah, go take that golf cart and go bring us all coffees all day, I'll do it. I'm down for the cause. Oh wait, you mean I get to hang out at a drift event all day and chill with the bros and like I'm being paid to be here? Done. I don't care what my job is. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was.
you ever seen the people who won't go to events unless they're driving? Have
that's
you ever
lame.
seen that? That's a crazy concept.
It's crazy, right? Who would do that?
Who on earth
It's
would
so
do that?
crazy.
To be fair, I did that last year.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to all of the hot pit events because I had the media pass, and then this year they charged you $200 for a media pass. And I was like, well,
Spicy.
guess I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was $200. We'll just spitball it at $200. But I was like, I guess I'm not going.
Well, do you guys want to touch
Yeah.
the topic of all that big tea between media and drivers that happened? I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, what happened?
Uh,
Wait,
no,
what
I
event?
stole this content.
Okay, so it wasn't a specific event. It was more, and I don't know if it was just East Coast where I'm at or everywhere, but there was some like hate going back and forth. Basically, certain drivers were like, we shouldn't have to pay for media. Like, a lot of events don't make media pay. And then media dudes were like, what do you mean? Like, our equipment costs just as much as cars do. And like, we're working for free. Like, yeah, you can pay me $15 for a photo. That was like the whole spiel.
I think it's
Personally,
fair. I think it's fair.
I see both sides of that because, and not saying the drivers are right, I see both a driver's perspective and a media's perspective because I do both jobs. I will
Hmm.
pay for the shot 1,000% of the time. I have hit up media people and been like, hey, if you can get some footage of me driving or if you can get some footage of me announcing, I will pay you for that because I am asking you to do me a service. Like that,
That's fair.
will
Yep.
never understand that.
I'm a big fan of paying for media.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't want to pay for one picture
right,
specifically. That's
right.
what that face was. I always hit up the media people really well
Yeah,
with money and stuff like that if they have stuff for me.
yeah.
Uh, you know what I'm saying? It's good stuff. But I will say the origin of that whole thing that debate started from some piss poor media, if you were to say, where this guy is watermarking it
Oh,
that
across
people
the whole
stole.
photo.
Yeah. And it's like cell phone pictures that this guy takes, is what
Ooh.
it seems. They're of
Yeah,
that quality. And he's posting these albums. He's got a whole like portfolio and stuff. And all of these are posted for free. So people would post the ones with the watermark for funds to be like silly, right? And it's like, I
Okay.
sold this photo,
Yeah.
whatever. And then the great debate happened. Like, it was
Yes.
crazy. It's silly.
So
That guy got flamed.
I
Personally.
agree. That's pretty like, I see the point in it. Don't show up to the event if you're not getting ready to like at least shoot a little bit for free. Um, and to be fair, everything I've ever paid for was like edited video. So that is like quite a bit of effort goes into that. I mean, I paid a little, I've shot a couple bucks to a friend for some raw clips too. And obviously video is a lot more in depth than photo. I mean, maybe I'm speaking out of my ass because you have to edit photos as well, but
Video is sick.
yeah,
in
Shout out all the
today's
videographers
market,
out there.
video is superior over the stills. It's
Yeah.
unfortunately,
you guys,
Because
photographers are
who's
gonna have to live
sliding
with that.
through? Who's sliding through these slides, bro? Like to watch 7 different pictures. You know what I'm saying?
You have to
I'm
make a
so
reel out
Like
of it. You have to make a reel out of it. There's
yeah,
no
you
getting
I'm
have
around
to.
it.
I'm so bummed because
Yeah.
I got like one really dope shot. I don't know if you guys watch The Gambler. If you're ever up on the East Coast, please hit me up. I'd love to have you guys out at a Gambler. Like I'll pay your way in for media or just come chill with me in the stands, whatever. So um, there is an Outer Zone 4. There's a lot of outer zones on this track at Englishtown. And Outer Zone 4 is tough to hit because you have to like extend the center section. A lot of dudes, like naturally the car wants to be a little too far inside. And so there was like a couple events where like no one was hitting this zone. And like I'm kind of the cheeky asshole on the mic and I'm like, can anyone get in this zone? Like what the hell? So then they were just calling it like, oh, you get in Sarah's zone, like you have to be in that zone or Sarah's gonna bully you. And then so then when I would drive the course and not get in the zone, they would bully me back. So I have
That's
one
fair.
shot of me
That's
just
fair.
like in the zone and I am, trust me, I was working to get in that zone and I am just
Oh yeah.
through the firewall trying to stand on it and like put a good showing for the boys. So that's probably the only still that I like love wholeheartedly. It's my phone background. I don't know if you guys can see this, but
Yeah. When you work for it and you get it,
yeah,
it's such a different feeling. You go out
totally.
there, you do those laps where you're smiling ear to ear the whole time,
Yeah,
and then people you get media for it. It's a
yeah,
different feeling. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
yes,
Yeah.
Like it's so different.
yeah.
I just want
You
to
have
point
to
out, shout out to all the media people
you have to support
capturing
the
like all the
media.
moments.
And
Yeah,
circling back to what Yohan said earlier about not liking to buy one photo, uh, in my personal experience, sometimes I only want to buy one photo.
Okay.
Now, remember when
No,
you guys were
yeah, for
saying like
sure.
someone who put themselves on a pedestal when they were doing media of some sort? I've
Right.
had people on a previous podcast I did, and his name starts with N and it ends with ick, and he was sorry, I set that up on purpose. But he it was is not to be rude to him, but it was just like he placed himself on this pedestal of being this photographer, and then I was like, man, there's a guy that just sent me these photos because he was just like, hey, I really liked being there, and you
Yeah.
charged me like $25 for some grainy photo.
Gerald,
Yeah.
how did we meet? Do you remember
Uh,
that?
Jan, a friend of ours that had passed
Well,
away.
not
We've never
even,
met,
not even.
fairly.
Well, okay, wait. Your first encounter, I got you media
Oh
at
yeah,
Pro Am
Narina got me
for
media.
the fuck up. Shut up. I told her to take pictures. I was like, hey, this dude's driving. He kind of sucks, but get some shots.
That's not even
This is what
So
I
the. That's
mean,
not.
like the light bullying.
Yeah, that's not even the event I fucking crashed at.
no, that's why you got good photos.
That's okay. I almost ended up in the pond, but luckily on almost doesn't count.
I
I
rode a car
almost did
off at
too.
Irwindale.
Like a whole chassis, like done.
Yeah, it was the third E46 LS swap in SoCal
Okay.
in 2018 when I wrecked it, and
Oh,
then my dumbass
sad.
This
built the CTS after that instead of just like putting everything into another E46 chassis. Look at them now.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk
Yeah.
it?
the same E46 that got him like on my radar. I was like, oh, that guy's cool. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was like, whatever. And then he totaled it. I was distraught. I was like, oh, look at this guy.
So, do you
Fucking
want to
ruined it.
ruffle some more feathers? What do you guys think is the superior chassis?
I don't think there
I'm
is
just
one.
saying.
I
I'm just
don't think there
saying.
is one. I think the Mustang shows you that there isn't. That Corolla shows you that there isn't. The Super shows you that all of the chassis, no matter what they are, it is nothing is superior. I don't believe that. I think
I think
I
Okay.
think it takes the whole combo of like the team, the chassis, and then being a good driver. And obviously the most support out there is for the S chassis and the Z chassis
Hmm.
and now the BMW, but I don't think that any of them are superior just based on it's going to be like what works for you
Right.
as a driver and the team. I think it's a combo of everything.
Right.
But go ahead, Yowan,
Tell me.
tell her your
I
stupid
don't. I
opinion.
don't. I actually don't want to say a specific car. I actually don't want to say a specific car because I actually do like a lot of different things.
Me
Believe
too.
it or not, I
I'm gonna
I
let you tell her,
do
and
have
I'm
a
gonna excuse myself for 30 seconds.
okay.
Knees to chest.
Actually, I think I think that E46s are pretty good, right? I like
I
them.
agree.
That's what I use. But I think there's a lot of perks to all the different cars. There's like so many different geometries that work very well. Like 240s, they have the multi-link and McPherson up
Yeah.
front. That's like a really good combo. It's the same as like a E92, similar as
Yeah.
like a E92. Multi-link rear, McPherson front. You
240's
know?
kiss of death is where the steering rack is located. If it was
Yeah,
front rack, I would say 240 is superior chassis all day long, twice on Sunday. But that is has
yeah,
always been the limiting factor for me. I've had the most amount of issues with that, and I think everyone else agrees. Like as far as where a BMW front suspension might be a little bit better, just because of where the
yeah.
rack's located.
And I will say though, it's all based on the geometry. What
Right.
geometry you're running, how you're running the arms, you know what I mean? How
Yeah.
far extended you're running.
Right.
You could run your arms normally and have a certain amount of caster and you have your rear rack and it
Yes.
drives really good. But some
Yeah.
people, they run more caster to push the wheels forward and then now you're over centering because the tie rods are like pointing like
uh
this. Like
oh.
it's all just it's all subjective, I think,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
I really enjoy 240s. I came to California for the first time ever and my friend Cameron, we took his car to AVS. It was a Bowen stock S13 he bought from some guy. It
Okay.
was pretty trash at first. The guy did like a tube front with rebar.
Uh,
Okay,
oh my god.
so he gets this car running and he goes to go get it registered and shit. He drives it, whatever, and so he rear ends somebody, totals the car on
Oh
the way
my
to
god.
register it. So
I
his
sold an S
neighbor,
chassis to somebody once, and they totaled
yeah,
it the next day.
that's basically
They
what
weren't
happened.
even done paying me.
Oh my god,
I know.
that's tough,
Yeah.
dude. Could you imagine his luck though? His luck is he totals the car, it's fucked. His neighbor builds trophy trucks. Like his neighbor did a whole tube front end on this car, like a complete tube front
Yeah.
end, like trophy
Yes.
trucks that like new strut, like custom strut
Hell
towers.
yeah.
This is basically like
Okay.
a tube chassis now, and the car
That's
had
sick.
no flaws. The subframe was wherever you wanted it. The rack was wherever you wanted it. It was sick. And by the way,
That's
this car
dope.
still had a KA, like NAKA. Yeah, dude.
What in the 100
Yeah,
horsepower?
yeah. So
Jesus.
I drove this car and it had the best steering I've ever driven. Stock 240, two
Probably because
front. It
they,
was just
if
yeah,
even if you move the rack up like an inch or 2 inches, like I'm gonna
yeah.
do that over the winter. Do the subframe modification, move the rack up, and see how it feels. Because everyone keeps saying how good it is, and I had ran those offset rack doodler guys, and all I would do was just bend fucking everything. I can't even. The amount of times I've
What
had the subframe out of my car just to take the steering rack apart is like I don't even want to
what
talk
kind
about
of
it.
what knuckles do you have, anyways?
I have a full FDF kit up front. I told you guys I'm accidentally building a Pro Am car.
Okay, I
I
hear you.
fucking
So
love
I see.
FDF so much, huh, Yoan?
Yeah, they're so good. I have their tie rod kit for the BMW because it's pretty good. Um,
um,
but otherwise, I don't run their arms or anything. I just have like E36 arms, and
mhm.
I actually have villains knuckle adapters, which is really
Cool.
random. But um, their kit, their like knuckle kit for 240s is god tier, pretty much.
Yeah, the
For standard stuff.
I mean, obviously everyone knows the FDF, everything loosening up. So like, you gotta check your shit, and I do mean between
Yeah,
sessions, you gotta check your shit, especially when you're tightening stuff with these tiny girl arms that I got here. But
yeah.
You
when
don't
I
got
put
the
that,
Ugga Dugga machine?
well, I mean, some things you can't get the gun on, but I
That's
do
fair.
ugga
This is
dugga
true.
some other stuff. If I can, like, I got a
I'll
special
Ugga
stock
Dugga a
kit.
fucking head onto a block. Don't fucking. I don't give a shit.
No, when I put that, everyone likes to hate on that. I think that's my number one mod that they hate on, aside from the LS. They're like, oh, how unoriginal! Bleh. Like, I don't give a shit.
It's
But
you kind of have the package though. You have
I
like
know I
the
have like the whole like hater package. I don't
it's the
care.
Broan package,
The Pro
the
Am. Oh
LS,
my god!
FDF.
I
That's what it is. That's what we
Yeah,
should have
dude.
called
oh
this stupid show is Drifting Broam.
yeah.
I'll
So
change it right now.
We can
dude,
make
the bro
stickers.
lines. That's sick though. I do really like that name, and I would tell you if I liked the owner better. But so people get a lot of hate, like, oh, you're like crab, blah 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 blah, whatever. Like when I put that on, just it helped me learn so much more about like car positioning and angle and like. So as far as learning, I think that helped me so much. Would I tell someone who's learning to put it on? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'd say try to get a
I
good handle of your car with like cut knuckles or whatever. But
I think it's really good. Because I think you can use the kits. It's just you kind of get to the same point. You know what I mean? With like the different kits at some point. You know, you cross they all intersect at some point. You know what I mean?
yes, I
Some
had a
just are set up
hodgepodge of
differently.
like one brand this, another brand that,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
lowers, these things, and like I'm not gonna say the brands, but I would be snapping tie rods like and not even hitting
Hmm.
anything, and they'd be bent or broken, or and I was tired of it, so I was like, let me just get one kit
Yeah,
that was designed to work together, and I'm running that, and
That
I
makes
love it
sense.
so
yeah.
far.
Yeah. I think people
Hmm.
can
Aside
kind of like overwhelm themselves though too with certain kits.
Yeah,
Yes.
for
So what
sure.
I will say is be ready for the most amount of adjustment you've ever seen in your entire life. And what I did was put everything in the middle. everything. We're starting right from neutral on every
Smart.
goddamn thing. And then I'm taking
Yep.
someone else's advice who knows more than me about my alignment. And I'm going to make changes from there for what I like to drive.
Same.
Same.
Yeah,
I wish
Yeah.
yeah,
you have so much power. I wish I could talk into this, but it doesn't work.
dude. I think the best thing is just like laying everything out on the table and just making sure everything's linear, everything's the same. And once it
Yeah.
goes on the car, dude, you can't fuck it up. Like it's, like it'd be really hard to fuck it up if you just, prep everything outside of.
Yep. And then I do marks, paint marks on everything, so I know like if anything moved, just to try to like cut down on issues.
Ugga
Like,
Duggas don't move. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just gonna
My
you're
car,
not
throwing it out
wrong.
nothing
there.
really comes loose.
I'm talking about like the devil itself, which is jam nuts. I would like to have a
Yeah.
conversation when I get to hell. I'm gonna sit there and the inventor of the jam nut. I guess it's like a good invention, but god damn it! Every time I slip off and like blast my knuckles off of something, I'm cursing their name.
I made some
Yeah,
parts for the Cadillac. I made some lower
Mm-hmm.
control arms and some like tow rods that I
Mm-hmm.
that was
sold
cool.
quite a few of. No one has ever came back and bitched at me about having to readjust those. So I think they did okay. And those
Yeah.
were
Gerald,
using FDF parts.
Well, so
Gerald, I just want
if
to
we
point
want to
out you're
get
pretty thorough.
yeah, if we
Huh?
want to get down to brass tacks, it's a one specific bolt that loosens up on my kit. It's not
What
the
is
jam
it?
nuts stay there. It's so again, I'm running that offset spacer thing because my rack is in its factory location, so I really should move the
Oh,
rack.
I know we were talking about the.
And there
Okay.
is a
Don't.
fine thread, big ass Allen bolt. And I put that thing in there with enough red Loctite to sink the Titanic. And with my big gun, my snap-on big gun, if we want to start name dropping, and just and
Easy.
I have two set screws. It only comes with one. I got another one. Two set screws, and them bitches still loosen up.
Interesting.
The
Hmm.
there's a lot of leverage on those
Yes.
during steering articulation and stuff.
Yeah.
The funny part too on those is the little points where they're supposed to center or whatever
Mm-hmm.
on the rack. They always snap off on every single kit.
Do
That
they?
shit is
I know
crazy.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the little parts that are supposed to hold it, like from
Yeah.
like rotating or whatever. Yeah,
So
Oh,
that.
yeah, again, I'm not talking crap. It is mostly they're working with bad geometry to begin with that. I love the
Yeah,
kit. I have zero complaints, and I really should do that. Plus, I drive it so fucking hard to the point where, like, if I know my line is gonna dip a tire, but I'm in it, I don't give a shit. So, like,
there-
also my driving style is a little bit aggressive. So,
that's fair. My complaint with FDF is they were supposed to make a kit for my car, and now I'm in an E90.
hmm.
Um,
Well,
yeah.
but I do know that the FRS offset spacers were supposed to work with my situation. That's what we were
Mhm.
supposed to use. I remember we had lots of conversations about it.
yeah,
And then, a long story short, I sent them everything. Some other guy got the test kit, which I thought was weird. I was kind of pissed
which
off about it.
guy?
Some guy who's not very involved in drifting, to be honest.
Okay,
Uh,
you
Yeah,
can tell me
uh,
later.
He sold the car.
That car never sold. Car never
He never
sold.
sold it.
Nope,
The guy got the kit, posted the car for sale.
Oh my
never
God.
sold it.
That's crazy.
And then he's bought like several kits that everybody was quote unquote supposed to make, and then he's been fucked every time. But anyways, they were supposed to make the kit. The kit didn't work at all. They made. I
Mhm.
don't know what happened. I think they made the V2 kit, which is a CTSV, the second generation. They made that kit, and I think it kind of, I think it flopped. And I think they didn't realize that there was a bigger market for the V1 because there was like 12 of us who had a drift car on cut knuckles. I was like, we
Yeah.
just need a lower control arm that's adjustable and a knuckle.
Yeah.
Like that, we don't
Yeah.
need a lot.
Yeah.
And it just didn't come out. And it's still to this day. Now guys are making that V2 kit he made work, or he built. They're making that work on the V1 by having to make a upper control arm, which he could have did,
Right.
He could have just did that, and everything would have been fine. I would not be in this fucking midway through this build right now. I would have just stayed in my car. I had two of them. I had a
Yeah.
practice car, like a little street car that I was able to drive to and from the track, a little V6 version. Love that thing.
Nice.
And then I had my Pro Am V8 car, and now I'm 10 steps back again.
I
That's
hate to say it,
cars.
but
It's
the
my fault.
CTSV stuff was a canon event. It had to happen for
It was.
it.
It was.
You you had to get here somehow, Gerald, and
Right.
We'll see. Now I'm like full
God
wise.
bless. God
Now,
bless is the V, but here,
now I'm like full wise
bye.
fab. And have you ever
Yeah.
seen fuck, what was the movie when they were like, it was the Adam Sandler movie. He's like, but it's got Sony guts. God damn it, I can't
Oh
think of the
my
movie.
god.
I can't think of the name right now.
Oh
Hang
my
on, I gotta
god, that's
Google
such a
this.
deep cut. We're gonna have to Google that. We need. Hey, Riley, man,
It's
Put
got
it on the screen
can
after.
you tell
hang
me
on.
what happens when two
Zohan.
Sony?
Don't mess with the Zohan.
Oh my
Yeah.
Okay.
god.
So anyways, I now have Fortune 500 or Fortune suspension with feel guts. So I have like
Okay.
a single adjustable front and then double adjustable rear.
You got some
Hey, I have
knockoff
some front
Odis.
coilovers with no springs. You
Huh?
want them? I have some front coilovers with no springs. You want them? Some fortunes? So
Depends on the size. Depends on what the rating is, because I might already have them on the car.
I think that yeah, but spares, dude.
Quiet.
Like,
That's
Sorry,
fair.
my
they're
idiot furry son is being so loud right now.
yeah, dude. Just pay shipping and I'll send them to you.
I'll let you know.
I bet.
That I don't know if you heard my
Dude, these
husky.
animals.
Mhm.
Huskies. I'm surprised he's being that quiet.
He's got like 7.
I got 3.
You training a sled dog team? What are you doing, dude?
2 huskies and a German Shepherd.
Yeah, it's a sled dog team.
They're my babies.
Yeah.
Don't call them that.
I love dogs. I love all animals. I have
Same.
I travel too much, so I have a cat. He is a psychopath. I don't know if you've ever had experience with orange flavored cats. They are
I
insane.
want one. I want
He's
one.
my
I want to name
favorite.
him Orion, like they did in Men in
Orion,
Black.
nice. Yeah, I hope. Listen, the crime rate in my house through the roof, like absolutely through the roof. But the entertainment value, 11 out of 10.
Yeah, you
So-
get what you pay
I-
for.
Right, and I got
I've
this
only
one out
had a
of a
black
dumpster.
cat, but
Black cats are cool
I
too.
love orange cat energy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I embrace it. Every cat has some at some point,
Yeah.
but they get out of it eventually. But orange cats, they're
No,
just here to
it's
stay.
just chaos. It's
Like,
wall to wall. They all
yeah.
have like a singular brain cell just rattling around up there.
The orange cat ginger person pipeline is crazy.
I have 2 cats
it's
living
wild.
in my backyard. One's like a black and white cat, like an Oreo cat, and
Tuxedo.
then
Yeah.
one's a gray cat with
Okay.
a little bit of stripes. And then I'm gonna make
Nice.
a noise right now, and you might hear my German Shepherd. But every time I do this, this is like her alert to like, where's the cats?
Yeah.
As soon as she hears that, she didn't hear me. Good. Yeah, as soon as she hears it, she normally goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I feel there's an intruder in the house, like I'll do that, and then she'll be
Yeah.
like, "Where are we going?" I'll be like,
Yeah.
"All right, cool."
I fostered some Germans back in the day. I love them. They're absolutely my favorite breed of dog. My mom also has dachshunds, but I'm just not home enough for a dog, and I feel it's too terrible to like constantly
fair.
be pawning my dog up on someone. So I just love the crap out of other people's dogs.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have 1 human
Yeah.
child and 3 dog children, so
Yes.
I get it.
Yes, Bruce is my cat. He is my idiot furry son.
My idiot fairy son. I got a real one. I'm not allowed to say that.
So it's September.
Okay.
What events are coming up, and what are you trying to hit, like for yourself, personally wise? Like, what are you trying to hit before winter comes?
Yeah.
Winter's coming. What are you gonna do? Like,
So I missed an event last weekend that I'm really sad about. My friends throw an all girls event that I wanted to get to.
in New Orleans?
No, I want to get to that so bad, but this one's in
I was about to
Connecticut.
say.
So I do want to
Oh,
go to that
yeah.
one a lot. Because,
Yeah.
again, there's some people who get a little bit tight about that. They get a little salty, like, oh, it's non-inclusive. Like, okay.
No, it's
Be
whatever.
mad about
yourself.
Yeah. Be mad about,
Yeah.
let me get mine in here. Just be mad about every private day you didn't get invited to then. Keep the
Yeah,
same
for
energy
real.
or else, dude. No, it's just,
That's fair.
it's supporting, like, not everyone is as large of a dickhead as I am. And, like, men have said some pretty effed up shit to me, but I just double down, and I think it's very funny, and I keep it pushing. Not every girl
That's
is
the
like
energy.
that, and if we want more females in the industry and for it not to be like weird, then we need to just like make it accessible for more people, and that's fine. So I will go
More
to
good.
bat for all the dudes that are salty about all female events. But anyway, so there's one.
More girls should own guns.
Yeah, I live alone, so yeah, I do own a gun, 100%. I live in Pennsylvania too. You're like, hi,
Oh
my
yeah.
name's Sarah, and they're like, here's a gun for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
They're like,
Yeah,
please
dude.
take it.
No,
Please take
you
this.
need it.
It's rough out here. Yeah.
You'll need
Yeah,
this.
I live in like a nice neighborhood, but it is like a little like sketch adjacent because I'm not like made of money, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
got
my
it.
house did get broken into when I first bought it, and I think it was just like the kids or whatever. But I like ever since then, as soon as I moved here, I was like, you know what? If I can own one, I might as well. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah,
if it
dude.
results in me just like clearing my house once a week because the refrigerator made a weird noise.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry, you know what I mean? Like, no, I wonder if it'll do it when I'm on. It has this like weird like phantom like knocking. It'll sound like, and I'll be like, what's going on, dude? I'm on
It's
high
struggling
alert.
to stay on.
Like Wedding Crashers, like, Mom, I just killed you just then. But there's no one in here. So if anybody's making noises, it's me, cat, ghost, intruder. That's the only possibilities.
That's
So I
I'm
will
not gonna
like,
lie,
you know,
dude. Getting
Yeah.
sketched out and getting a crazy angle, waiting for like the fucking DEA to come through the door or something. It's crazy.
No, I just put all the lights on. I check every nook and cranny. Usually just like straight up in my jammies, like fuck around and find out.
You
But
gotta
yeah.
turn the lights off.
Oh,
You turn the lights off and you go like stealth mode.
yeah. Oh no, I'm
Start
loud.
walking
I'm like,
around
if your
crazy.
ass is in here, you better not be in a second.
No, you gotta scare them. When all the lights go off, they're gonna be like, "Holy fuck,
Oh
what's
no.
going on?"
Yeah.
Yeah, with that
Start-
Alexa intruder alert situation.
Yeah, it
Yes.
goes to red and like the
Yeah.
what is it? Claymore Roomba? That shit geeks.
Yeah.
Just make it weird. Like, I hope you're here to get your cheeks clapped.
Yeah.
That'll get anybody
Come
out
here,
the
I've been
door.
waiting for
boy.
this day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not waiting for the day, but if the day does come,
I won't be
hope
home
they're ready.
for me to run
Yeah.
out the window.
I don't like. I'm gonna be like, damn, dude, you made me shoot your ass in my house. Unreal.
Yeah.
And hollow
I'm
points
not
too,
gonna
because
lie.
I'm not about to dig a bullet out of the drywall. Like it's
How could
staying
you do
in
this
you.
to me?
Yeah, how
could you do
dare
this to me?
you
Yeah. it's
bleed
fine.
on my floor? I have
I'm only a
no
little
money.
bit
I have three
paranoid.
240s in the driveway. You should have known I didn't have any money.
You gotta pour some quick dry on them. Pour some oil dry on them.
Quick try.
Yeah, dude, you know that shit. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no,
Flushing his bullet wound.
straight up. But yeah, so I'll do that
you'll
girls
be at
event.
Irwindale?
I'll be at Irwindale. I'm doing some media with Daily Driver Media again. Maybe they'll just be like, Sarah, we just love you so much. You have to be on the live stream because we love you and you're so smart and funny.
Why don't you ask
But
him?
fingers crossed. I mean, I could. I'm trying to like be not annoying about it. You know, I have already
Just
said
get real
my piece.
drunk. Just get real drunk. And then just be
No.
like, hey, motherfucker, who are you guys using?
We're running off business hours. So like during the business hours, I'm very like straight up doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing, professional. And then as soon as
That's fair.
business hours have concluded, I'm going to go have 7 to 10 beers and have a good time with the friends.
Yeah, this show's not business. This show's all party.
Yeah,
dude,
so
we're off the
I'm
clock.
going to be at Irwindale. I have Drift Indy next weekend. I'm going to try to drive Haunted Moves. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. It's a Club Loose event. So back in the day, East Coast Bash was like the biggest thing ever, and I'm old, so I partied there like when it was fun. And since then, it's gotten a little bit smaller because I think it's like Labor Day weekend. No, it's like Memorial Day weekend. I don't know. Either way, it's gotten a little smaller. But Haunted Moves has now been like the big party event. Everybody dresses up. One year, I dressed as a 6-foot traffic cone. That was a fun year. And so I'll probably try to do that again. That was super fun. And then Mid Pond in November? Yeah, November. And then, of course, PRI. Maybe see.
What
This
event
guy,
is that, Mid-Pond?
yeah, we got a whole event going at Mid Pond for one of our friend Jake's birthday.
Is that your cat fucking
sweet.
shit up?
Can you hear this in the background? He is
Yeah,
just
I
going
do.
in on a paper bag.
Let him.
Like,
Let
what
him.
the fuck is this guy? Hey, do you pay rent? You're making a lot of noise for somebody who doesn't pay rent in here.
Yeah,
God,
yeah. I love when
there's
my
no,
pets sigh, and it's like,
yeah,
what
like
ails
what?
you? What ails you, my freeloader? Yeah,
And
it's
German
What?
shepherds are big on the sigh too. They'll just be there panting, right, and they'll hit you with one of these, and you're like, you didn't what? You didn't bite enough people today? You need to get a little bite in,
yeah.
buddy. Like, what's going on here?
Gotta hit his quota.
Yeah, let's
I'm
go for
s-
a walk, my liege.
I'm sorry, your $300 that cost me to keep you every month just wasn't enough. You know how much more tires I could buy with that?
Yeah,
Not
no,
enough
this guy, he's
sacrifices,
just
Gerald.
like his mom. He loves garbage. So if you bring like a paper bag in or like a box, he's like, hell yeah, we love trash. Same when I see
Then
like a really
same.
rusted out 240 chassis, I'm like, let's
Wait,
go, let's
so you
go.
have you have three? You really have three 240s in your driveway?
I mean, they're not in my, well, so one's in my garage, two are in my
Okay.
driveway. My truck
Why?
is in overflow parking. Do not tell the HOA. And so I don't have a
You
shop.
got
I
one
used
of
to work at
those?
a shop. My friends like share. We all shared a shop together, but I've since moved out of there. So I'm doing all the work out of my townhouse garage.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, so I was doing a subframe there over the summer, and like they were pissed. They were so mad at me because I told my neighbor, who's the president of the HOA, I'm like, listen, dude, it's gonna get real unprofessional in the driveway for like, give me like 4 or 5 days because I have to work after hours, and then like I try not to do power tools after 10 as like a courtesy. So and
Mhm.
I'm doing it by myself, so it's gonna, I'm like 3 jacks and like a hope and a prayer, whatever. So I'm like almost all the way through this subframe job, and this chick who I know is the president of the HOA or the new president, I don't know, whatever. She's part of it. Comes like up with like the Karen hands, right? I'm like, oh my god, I'm
Mhm.
about to get whoop ass 100%. And she doesn't say like, hi, I'm so and so. She goes, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And I am like dripping sweat. I have the subframe like out. I just got it out. I'm like sawing the rubber thingies out. I'm so angry.
Mhm.
It's hot. I'm sweating, and I'm like, that's extremely rude. Like you didn't come up to me and like say like hi, like what's up, like what's going on. Like I know this car looks shitty, but like you didn't try to get some information. And like we get into like some words were exchanged, and I called her a name. I said being a blank is not a hobby. Like you should find a real hobby. And she was like, I could have this towed. And I'm like, good luck towing a car without a rear subframe in it. Genius. Like, you could just stop talking to me and we could have this back in a little bit. So I was being really courteous. And then after that exchange, by the way, I did read the rules. And the rules are that I would be cited for working on a car in my driveway and I would have 30 days to remedy it. So my money was like, they'll give me the citation. I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know, I'm just a girl. And then I'll have 30 days to like get my shit together. So they didn't cite me. She just came over and yelled at me and said a bunch of shit. I was mean back, whatever, whatever. So at this point, I am, he's just left the chat. My story is taking too long. So at this point, I'm straight up like, I don't care what they say. So I'm burning the bushings out in my driveway at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Sure, hopefully no one's noticing.
Oh
I have like
yeah,
3 fire extinguishers there just in case. It's like billowing smoke down my neighborhood. I don't give a shit. But yeah, so
yeah. I couldn't imagine living in an HOA because, quite frankly, I will retaliate. Unfortunately,
it
like you
is.
say some stupid shit to me,
Yeah,
I'm gonna, you know, I'm
they don't
very
treat you like a
peaceful.
person. Like come up to me as your
No,
neighbor and like talk to me as a
like
person.
because they think that life is all about Barbie doll houses and that's what life is supposed to be.
Right.
Like this is not what that is, bro. Like
No.
this is cheap. I want to. I live here because this is cheap.
Right. They take any bit of individuality out of it. They take any bit of understanding out of it. They treat like I don't know.
You just need to
My cat is
conform.
They
eating a
What part do
charger
you
right
not
now.
understand?
I'm not gonna stop him.
as
This is
as
natural
You,
they
selection.
do.
you
But
need
I
to
have it. Is it
yeah,
plugged in?
conform.
demon. No, he pulled it out of the wall. I'm telling you, these
Oh,
orange cats are on some other
at
shit.
least he's smart.
He's
He was
like
like, I'm not.
he's a
I'm not trying to
huge
arc my
idiot.
shit.
The last
But yeah,
house I
no,
lived in?
HOA living is not fun. But
Yeah.
I had to make the event, and I didn't have a place to work on my car anymore. So
No, I hear you.
driveway
My
it is,
car.
baby.
Yep. The
My
last
car is
house.
up on jack stands in my carport right now,
Love that.
with
Nice.
the diff out, axles out,
Yeah,
trailing arms are still in. But like I'm doing a true coilover conversion right now. Like
cool.
I actually just built like one shop. It's right next to me.
Yeah.
I'm like doing the shit super DIY right now, and
Cool.
I'm waiting on a specific brand to send me my upper control arms brand. Do that,
Built to
Brands.
please.
order. Built
Uh,
to order. Don't forget
yeah,
that part.
But
but
yeah,
it's okay. They emailed me though. They said they're running behind.
it
Machine
happens.
shop,
It happens.
always a machine shop.
Always.
They gotta blame
But
somebody.
These
I
guys.
hope I was wondering if he'd be back here yet or
Yeah, me
not.
too.
I
Well,
got
how long do you
Maybe
guys
I must
normally
have went
make
down.
these? Should we wrap without him?
Wait. I'm
I
still
mean,
not on.
I don't know. He'll probably be back because he can just
Okay.
hop back in.
Good.
But this is about the point where we usually get tired of talking, maybe.
I
But
will
we've
talk
only
until
done
I'm
one,
dead,
so
so you tell me.
yeah. I don't really get tired of talking. He's just trying to keep it concise.
Right, because people have to
But
watch
who
this
knows?
and care. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. But we did talk about interesting stuff, so they
We
might
did.
bite. Who
Because
knows?
he's
It
back.
kicked me
Yay!
Oh
out.
shit!
We were wondering if he'd pop back
Hang
in.
on. Hang on. Hang on.
It
It
kicked
kicked
me
me
out
out
There you
of
go.
of
the
the
app.
app.
Yeah, so you missed my great story about how I deal with the HOA and have two 240s in my driveway right now.
No. I heard
Yeah, she
every
used
single
her
thing you said.
guns.
No, I
Uh,
didn't.
can you
I
guys still hear
should
me?
have.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
You're really
a little
soft
bit.
though.
I
Different
heard
mic.
everything you said.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
good.
Give me a
Nice.
second.
Yeah, you're like
I see the
3
problem. Hang on.
pixels and you're holding that mic super sus. But other than that, you're
Don't.
good.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
he's
Like
choked
a
up on
straw.
it, dude.
that's what she said.
Crazy.
Hey
Nope.
yo.
It
My boy
kicked me
gripped
out.
up.
It
He
kicked
turned the
me out for
dampers
whatever
down.
reason, and now it's working.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
That's all
no, I
right.
heard everything you guys said, but
Cool.
I lived in a city over with the HOA issue, and at 7 p.m., if I used my impact gun, my neighbors at the time would call the cops on me. I lived there for like
And
5 years, and I probably say an easy 10 times, between 10 and 15, they came to the house because of me working on my car, whether it's using the grinder or using the impact gun. It was just too much for them.
And at least in my neighborhood, there's a lot of young kids because it's pretty cost effective to live here. So there's a lot of families. They in the summer will be freaking screeching in the middle of the street 10, 11 o'clock at night. And obviously, I don't give a crap. But I dare to put one power tool down, and it's oh.
Dude,
That's crazy.
that's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
a
Yeah,
mess.
so I have my S14, which was my first car ever. That's in my garage right now. And although they call it a two car, I can fit two cars in there, two 240s, which are pretty small, but I can't open the doors and I can't fit a toolbox in there. So I have one
Gotcha.
car in there and all my parts and tools.
Yeah.
And I'm restoring that one. Then I have my drift car in the driveway with a cover on it so no one kills me. And then I have what I like to call my grandma spec, which is a fun deal I got from an old guy that is a bone stock down to the suspension, KA S13, beautiful paint
Oh
job.
yeah.
And I just be
Hatch?
whipping that to work sometimes.
Is it a hatch or what?
Yeah, hatch. So I've only ever owned hatches. I'd love to own a coupe. I just haven't had the opportunity, or the budget for one because they're obviously way cooler. But my S14 is a kooky, so brownie points there.
Oh, yeah, an S14. Okay.
Yeah, yep. My
Also
S14's in the
gay.
garage. That was my first car ever.
What made you like Nissans? Because aren't you like an American LS gal?
Well, I mean, aside, a little bit, but hell yeah, dude. So,
Well, okay.
my dad was always into cool cars, and it was
Like what? Be specific.
okay.
I'm a
He
hot rod
had
guy.
Dodge Chargers and stuff growing up, and then but he always wanted to do what's trendy. So when it was what 2000 shit 2 when the Fast and Furious movies were coming out and the S chassis were really cool. He bought one almost brand new from a dealership for 12
shit.
grand. And that is my car that I still have to this day. I will never sell it. I don't care how
don't.
much money.
Please don't. I
Yeah.
get that. That's the S14, right?
Yep, that's my S14. And so that's
Yeah,
a
that
stock
makes sense.
KA. It's in the garage right now. And then my LS S13 hatch is in the driveway. And then my grandma spec is also a hatch, a red one. So
That's
Gotcha.
awesome. Well,
That
now you have
burgundy
to add
red or
another
the bright
S14.
red?
no, so he did paint it an aftermarket color red. So it's so close to that stock red, but it's a little deeper. I think he painted it another color, like did too many coats. I don't really know what he did, but
Gotcha.
I paid $2,000 for it.
Yeah.
Deal.
Straight
not
body,
bad.
no rust.
Deals on wheels, dude. That's it right there.
Yeah, I'll also probably never sell that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fair. I could see not selling the other two.
I respect that.
Do
But yeah,
you ever have like um and not hopes of buying one of those old Dodges and restoring it or doing something to it?
so
I like pro touring cars.
yeah. One day, I hope my dad doesn't see this because I wanted it to be a surprise. But one day when I make it big, I'm gonna get. So he had to sell his Charger, a '69 Charger, when I was a kid. I think
Right.
right after I was born, so it's probably my fault. And because he was in the middle of restoring it and didn't finish it. My dad's the king of unfinished projects, but
Children are
I
a
would
problem.
love to buy him one and either like restore it with him or get one of those like old school shows that he loves to like restore it for him and surprise him. Like that's how I know I've made it in life when I can like hook him
Yeah.
up.
I feel the
Yeah,
same
that's
way.
sick.
My dad's was like a '67 Camaro black. Have you ever seen Better Off Dead
Yeah,
with John Cusack? That's
yeah,
my dad's like love car, and he's built like so many. He has one now. He has like a GTO, but that's like his high school. I love this thing.
yeah,
That's one of the things I always wanted to do for him too. So I
yeah.
agree.
My dad's got a 40th anniversary 370Z now, so
Yeah.
he's always got a fun car. But
That's cool.
yeah,
My dad doesn't like cars. He only talks and thinks about 18-wheelers.
cool.
So yeah, I just help him like work on his,
So he
and
likes
that's it.
like a long hood Pete, like them big boys. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, my dad likes Volvos. Like like he likes Volvos because they work.
I
Okay,
get
I
it.
can see that.
I get it. I'm not
Like
even mad at it.
it's super industrial. Like he's like, this thing is sick. It's got the best engine. It's like doesn't have any problems. The cab is good.
Yeah.
I've had it. He's driven it 1.8 million miles. And like it's his thing. Like he just loves it.
Was that
I
the
love
green
it
one you
too.
posted on your story?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay, that's your old man. Got it. All right, that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
remember
I've been
I saw
trying
you
to.
Post him driving one of your BMWs, and he was like, "That's cool."
Yeah, he hates my car, dude. He's like fucking. He's like, dude, this thing's too low. I'm like, bro, stop. Like, when you are
It's too
crazy.
low. Because he's used
Yeah.
to having to climb up.
Yeah, he's having to climb out now, and his house is
Yeah.
a little slower now. So it's a
Yeah.
little hard for him. But he's climbing into the 18-wheeler and dropping out.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Mine likes to tell me how to drift, but he's never been behind the wheel of a drift car before in
Oh
his
my
life.
god, that's how my fucking dad is.
But my
My
dad,
dad
like,
too.
Oh
I
my
used to do
fucking
gymnastics,
god.
and he would, like, try to coach me on that, too. He'd be like, your back handspring is a little slow. And I'm like, Dad. But he's always just, like, that type of guy. He just wants to push me to be better. So one of these
Yeah.
days, I'm going to get,
Bring
like,
it up.
my drift car. I'm going to move the seat a little bit so his long ass can fit in it. And then we're going to take him out to Englishtown. I'm going to be like, go ahead then, big boy. Go on, dog.
I
Get
wanna
out
do-
there.
I want to do the same thing to my dad. My dad does the
Yeah.
same fucking thing. It fucking drives me nuts.
It's because he loves you and he believes in you and he wants you to be the best you can be. But yes.
I love that.
If
I
I
love
could-
that for him, but he can go fuck himself.
If I could get my dad to a track, bro, oh my god, that would be the day.
We'll
So,
tell him
like-
once you guys get super big, you can have me back on. We'll tell our dads we're doing like a live pod and we'll make them all come out
Yeah.
and we'll like, psych, you're driving.
Fuck him.
The dad pod.
Do
Yeah.
it now,
Pod.
loser. Yeah.
Driving out loser.
My dad and I do the same thing for a living. Like I know you two guys are cool and you guys work in automotive, but I install fire alarms.
That's
Um,
probably way better.
It
Yes, actually,
we won't
yeah.
have that conversation. I don't want to
Okay.
upset anybody. It affords this. But I pulled up in my truck, which I have like a Colorado that's like lifted. He's like, "Oh, this thing actually looks really good." And I was like, "You've never seen it?" He's like, "No, I just like the pictures and move on with my life." It's like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "You're the one. It's his customer who ordered my wheels and tires."
Oh shit.
So like we do like let's just say we have a fire alarm in a warehouse. It's one of his customers, and I was like, "Hey, can you order me these wheels and tires?" Like, at a way lesser price than I would pay retail.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And then he's like, yep, I like the picture, but I never looked at it.
Is he
He's
on
like, I just saw
Amazing.
it,
Instagram or what?
I looked at it, and I moved on.
Dads
Is he
don't
on?
give a
Is,
shit. They just
dude,
do
this is
what
how
they
he
do.
scrolls.
Yeah.
He scrolls like this.
Yeah. He's like, I knew it was yours, and he's like, unless your son's in it, I don't care.
Amazing.
Dude, for real. That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. My dad sucks sometimes. Thanks for paying attention. But
Apple
he does
doesn't
do that
fall
thing where
far
he tries
from
to
the
tell you
tree.
how to drive. Does your dad tell you like, oh, you're scared? You're scared. That's why you're doing this. I'm like,
No, so actually, I will give him a compliment. The last time, so he saw me drive like 5 or 6 years ago, and
Mhm.
then finally I was here because he lives in another state, so he was here the same time I was driving. So he saw me drive this summer, and he was like, "Wow, you got so much better." And I'm still beating myself up about my driving ability, and he's like, "You're just so aggressive," and I'm like, "Sometimes that's not good."
yeah,
Like
you don't know how much
sometimes
that
that's not
bites you
good.
in the ass.
But yeah, he'll tell me before when I was still learning, he'd be like, "You're not going fast enough," which ironically he was right about. You're not doing this, or like you need to be doing this, and some of it was like right by accident. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But most of it, I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
My
He's
dad.
got it.
I remembered I was doing pro, and my dad would be like, "Oh, you seem like you're scared. Like you don't know. Like you're not staying on throttle enough." And I was like, I don't know if you know this, but I've been driving for like 6 months. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Like he didn't get that. Like he didn't wrap that around his head. I was like, I shouldn't be here. Like,
Wait,
so
I just want to point out that you said I was driving Pro-Am. My dad said I was scared. Dad, I've been driving for 6 months. How the fuck
yes,
do
that
you
happened.
drive for
That was
6 months?
don't
And
ask questions you don't want to know the answers to,
dude,
champ.
this guy got his
that's
permit and was like, "Yo,
yeah. No, that's a
the guy
good
got his
thing.
We
I
out
think
driving
here.
permit."
We out
that's something to
here.
be proud
Yeah,
of.
it's not. It's not something I've wasted a lot of money.
Dude,
I've
but you
wasted a
have the
lot
experience.
of
Like,
money.
listen, money will come and go. Like,
You know
it
what's
is
Yeah,
sad?
it
fine.
does.
I told myself I was like, I'm not gonna compete in this car until I feel ready. And
Yeah.
I fucking know as soon as this car's done and there's a competition next, and if there's money in my bank account to pay for that competition, I know I'm gonna do it. Like I
Yeah.
have no fucking
Mhm.
self control. And I have
Well,
no business purchasing that seat.
not
I
for nothing,
should
but every cool thing I've ever done, I was like, I probably, I'm too nervous to do this, or I probably shouldn't do this. And whenever I've just like pushed myself through it, I've always been really glad for it. So,
no, that's I would say that's great. That's complete opposite of what I do. I'm stubborn and I'm like, I think I can do it. I need to wait till next year. I definitely want to do LS Fest West. I think
okay.
that's when the car will
So,
do its first comp.
so what's the appease of like it being competition versus like getting somebody sick or a few people that are sick and setting up a private day at the track and driving sick with those sick people?
Structure, it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's
I think
completely
No, but I
different.
mean like,
Like for me, I'm just answering on
yeah.
the personal. Like it's like so what I do for a living. Like I do fire alarms, right? So you have to have things done a certain way to like quote unquote pass an inspection. The same way you're gonna pass tech, right? So like when it comes
Mhm.
to prom, you need to have all these parameters. You need to meet all these parameters. And sometimes I'll be like, hey, I don't like this. I need you to change it a little bit. The same thing works with like my work life. So I do like that. I think it's something I do like structure to a certain extent, but at the same time, I also
Yeah.
like the freedom of being like, oh, I can do it this way, not necessarily the way everybody else is going to do it, but I'm going to do it this way. And then I'll also, with driving situation, it's completely different. So I think that's like the build process of it because I'm like a car builder and it's something that I also enjoy, but it's not necessarily the driving aspect of it because I've never done the driving aspect the way it should be done, if that makes sense. But I've always built it like it passed tech. That's great, but I did not make it past fucking qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You just got to find a spark. You got to find that point
I tell
where
myself that.
it makes you excited.
Yeah.
No, now
You don't have to like chase it, right? But like it'll come eventually, obviously.
yeah,
You
but it
build the
should come
car
in
and you,
driving, not in a competition where you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and like everyone's looking at me like I'm an asshole here because I keep going off track. I'm knocking over cones like an asshole and fucking ruining
Yeah.
everybody's day. Like you should be able to make it through the course without issue within several laps. Let's just call it 3 or 4.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere though, because I
Yeah,
felt a similar way when I came out to drive for the first time. Like I was not even good enough to like get out of people's way, and like I would go off track and have to get hooked back on the course, and I would hold up the line of grid, and like I'd feel horrible. But like give those people a little bit of grace because you have to start somewhere. Like unless for me, it's just jumping in, getting started. So like they have to start somewhere.
I
So
agree. I
like,
don't
give them a
disagree
little
with
bit of
that at
grace,
all.
try to give them pointers, that kind of
I
thing.
agree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
but there
Like
is,
I just think the car too. Like you say, you like the car building, right?
Hmm.
Part of the building, I think, is when you get it done and you test the theory, right? And you put in place, oh yeah, my shit fucking works. You know what
yeah,
I mean? You do that test day and you do some sick laps, the car fucking works. And you're like, hell yeah, this shit works.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Like I
Yeah,
built this shit. You know what I mean?
I think comp
And I,
is just such higher stakes. Like I can
yeah,
link front course and English Town. I can do it all day long and it's fine. Can I get in every zone and hit every point on the track? I can't. Like it's a whole nother level. There is cool driving and then there's competition drifting. It's just a lot more fine tuned. And I used to be involved with a team and like to get to see competition from behind the scenes. I've seen it as an announcer too. And it's just so much more like there's a lot more on the line. And I
yeah.
think it progresses the sport. I don't think there should only be competition drifting. I think there's a lot of different ways to do it. But I definitely think it adds to the sport and adds to everybody's credibility. So that's just my
yeah.
And
two
then
cents, though.
and comp line
No, for
and
sure.
comp line and like, excuse me, grassroots line are two different things. Like
Hmm.
I think people don't understand that either, who don't understand like the nuances and the differences between the two,
Right.
because you have, a wide line, which is what you would consider the bro line, right? Like you want to make sure everybody can get around it. But um, in as much as I dislike certain judges, I'll say that some of them will set you up to make sure that if you're low power or high power, you can both do the same line.
That's good. No?
So, like,
Yeah.
yes, so the bro line exits that situation because the bro line is the wide line. But
Yeah.
sometimes, like, let's just
Well,
say you're at Orsteve Mile and you have 300 horsepower, but I have 600, you're not going to be able to make the same line I can make.
No shot.
So they
so
will put the inside clips in order to help you, especially at like a track like Horse Thief Mile. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys ever seen it um, on like social media, but you'll see like you'll come up, you'll hit a wide line as you enter because you hit enter at the top of the hill, but then you'll dip inside on the basically the apex of Horse Thief, the first line, and you'll go
Yeah.
all the
yeah,
way out to the as wide as you can.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah,
line. You go all the way out as far
crest
as you
it.
can, and then you cross over as wide as you can, and then you also hit the inside of the when you go down the hill. You hit the inside so everybody can make it through because
Yeah,
everybody with high horsepower can do the wide line, but not
Hmm.
low horsepower. Because I've driven with both cars. I've done it with high horsepower and done it with low horsepower, and it's a lot easier to do it in that setup, no matter what power you have.
Yeah. I wonder if that is an argument for multiple classes,
It
like
is,
horsepower
maybe.
classes.
I
but I
think
think
there's
the
a
inside
disconnect, honestly,
Yeah.
layout
that
wise
that's
with
true
some
too.
competitions.
Mm,
I feel like everything is so extreme for some comps where they're like you have to be doing the top of the top, like you have to be at this level to do this. Like this
Yeah.
entry has to be 100 miles per hour to make this sick, right? That's not necessarily the only thing that can make a layout cool. Like you can have a layout that has a lot of interesting factors and like make it really cool to run, and making it like where the tandem is like, you know, you're getting really good tandem on this layout and it's interesting to watch is more
Yeah.
interesting to me, and that makes better battles for
I
sure.
agree. Totally
10 out of 10.
agree.
Like, for sure. Like, even if they didn't run, like, if you look at Utah, after Utah, how they ran it over the rumble strip or whatever, if they ran it
Everybody
and
was.
just, if you just
That was
watch
a
that and
silly
you see,
little
if they
goose
just ran it on
situation.
the track, dude, just run it on the track. Don't go over the rumble strip. You don't have to sit on the edge of the course to do a drift. Like, we don't have
Yeah.
to sit on the edge of the track. That's not all what drifting is. Like, you can
People
drift in the
were
middle of the
like,
track. Like, that's okay.
I'll be right back.
people were like blowing off outer zone one, like multiple tires off, and the judges were being super strict, like even one tire off they were not chill with. And then outer zone two, some people were just gone.
Yeah.
But
That honestly was a shit show, and it was basically survival of the fittest. And quite
yeah.
frankly, I feel like they're not doing their due diligence by, like, making sure, like, the shit's good. Why are you drawing a track and then, like, just decide, yep, this is what you guys are running, you know,
So I
like,
don't
and
know,
you're
do you
dying on
remember,
that hill.
I'm older, but do you remember they used to actually have like one of the judges or one of the people who ran FD like drive the course and see if it was good? Obviously, I think
Yeah,
that was back when the cars were a lot more manageable, but
yeah.
I
And
don't know, maybe something like that has to come back.
quite frankly, I feel like they should have some kind of committee, like, like within the competition, where people can actually, like, run the course. Oh, this doesn't fucking work. Scrap
Yeah,
that. You
right.
come up with a layout that works. Everybody can do it. Let's say, even if how they do the seating bracket right now, how the lowest guys have to go battle. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Why don't the lowest guys go practice the freaking course and
And
get the
like see if
layout
it's
right?
possible. Yeah, that's a good point because, if you're in the bottom of the seating bracket, you can certainly use more practice. It's
Exactly.
probably what
You
landed you
use
down
that.
there.
You use them to test the track, right? And let's
Right.
say these guys, they test the track this round. The layout's good, right? Everybody can do it. The layout's good.
Right.
They do really well in comp. Wherever they place in comp, it gets them out of that practice session,
Yeah.
right? For the next round. So let's say, they sucked at this round. They did better at this round. Next round, they're not in that. Whoever sucked still after all that shit, test the next layout or whatever. So
Yeah.
everybody's getting, like, it's not just the same people sucking and doing the same thing. I don't know.
Right.
It's a
That's
concept I
hey,
thought of, but
that's one of many great ideas, and I think the whole point is
yeah,
that we all care, we all give a shit a lot
for
about
real.
drifting, and especially at a professional level to the point where we want it to get better. We want more people to want to watch it and less people to have like, saying they're not watching it for X, Y, and Z reasons. So yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
Didn't you
yeah,
recently on the other the live podcast that you were on there, you were kind of having a conversation about how like they don't watch it as car people, like your coworkers?
Yeah, and everybody had a lot of hate there, dude. I was like,
There's no
damn, bro.
reason to
Someone
have
said it
hate.
was a shit take. And all I said was, oh, it's so curious to me that someone who doesn't like, or someone who loves cars doesn't watch FD. And they didn't say, like, I hate
yeah,
FD. They were just like, oh, I don't really follow it. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Only because, like, my brain is like drifting, 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 drifting 24/7. So
Same.
it's
Yeah.
so weird. It's just strange to me how someone else's like thought process around it works. And like who in my brain, who doesn't want to watch sideways burnouts? Who doesn't want to watch 1,000 horsepower cars
You know,
huck shit into corners? Like that's so dope to me. I don't
yeah,
know.
like why are
yeah,
you doing 85 miles into this wall? Like that's
Love that.
sideways.
yeah.
I think
Like
I
I
don't
think
know
a lot of people
anybody that
don't
doesn't love
understand
it.
like what goes into it. And
yeah,
I think what a lot of that is could be just like, yeah, drifting is cool to us, but people don't realize how small drifting is. Like people
I
who are
know.
into it, like, okay, us three are into it, right?
Yeah,
But think about us three out of 100 people. That's
right.
saying 3% of people in the world are into it. That's crazy. That'd be such a
Yeah.
high number.
Yeah. I
So
think we
I think and it's way less than that. It's like maybe like
yeah.
0.2 if you're lucky. Like they
And I
know what it
think
is.
we all want the same thing, which is for drifting to grow and get bigger. And like, you can't have drifting get bigger without professional drifting getting bigger. So, like,
Yes.
the reason I'm in it is to expand this out, to like show new people who maybe don't watch it or don't understand it at all, like something cool. I think drifting's more exciting to watch than NASCAR. Like, no offense to those guys. I think it's more exciting to watch than like monster trucks. You know what I mean? So I don't
Hey,
know.
hey. Oh.
Sorry, I think it's cooler. I don't know. It's to each their own.
I've never watched any monster truck thing ever.
What?
I've seen
Yeah.
it in person, but like
We have so much to talk about.
no, like I think monster trucks are cool, but like I've never like actually been like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and watch this, right? But like I know
Yeah.
so many people who have never gone drifting, like never done it themselves or anything like that, but like they find
Right.
out like I drift, right? And then they're like, oh, what is this about? You know what I mean? Like, and then they'll have
Yeah.
me show them stuff, and they're like, oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You know, their eyes light up, and you're like, yeah, see, this is why I
Well,
do it.
I was
And then
sitting in
it's
the
over.
stands in Utah, and I'm like, I have my pen and paper because I'm about to do the after show or whatever. So I'm like taking notes like a dork, like Steven Glansberg. And so these people saw me sitting by myself and like writing it down, and they're like, "Hey, do you watch drifting, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." Like I didn't know where this conversation is going. They're like, "Oh, it's our first event. Like, what is going on?" And so,
Oh shit.
what a great question! Like, I was like, where do I start to explain this? And I'm trying to like keep it so simple. I forget what I said. I
Yeah.
said something really concise and smart, and then I forgot what I said.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm
What a silly,
clever. And
goofy
then I
gal.
forgot.
Nah,
Yeah, I
dude,
guess I
explaining
said that
drifting is crazy.
it is crazy. I think I said something like like there's two drivers and they're both competing against one another, and the object is to showcase car control, like to show who has better and more consistent car control, who's more exciting to watch, and the person who seems to put on a better show and have more control over their car is the winner.
I feel like the
Yeah.
best way to explain it would be like action sports with like skateboarding or biking, maybe
Yeah,
even rollerblading.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because you're performing like a trick, so to speak, and like who's doing
yes,
it better. Like, okay,
yes.
Tony Hawk did a better kickflip, or did fucking I can't think of anybody else's name at the time.
You know, have you ever seen like a benchmark run or whatever on like a game where like they have like somebody that does like the best lap or whatever and you have to try to beat it
Yes,
on like
like
a
the ghost
right?
car.
Yeah,
Yeah, the ghost car. So I explained it this way one time. I was like, imagine there's a ghost car and that's what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to achieve the ghost car spec line, right?
Yeah,
And you're trying to match them as a chase. You're trying to outdo them basically in
the
the in the
perfect
chase.
line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you're just trying to one up each other the whole time around the track. It's
that's a
not
good way to
necessarily
put
about
it.
who's
that's
faster,
actually an
you know.
excellent fucking explanation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I always say, oh, the lead car is going for a 100-point qualifying run. What the fuck does that
Yeah,
mean? And the chase car is
exactly.
trying to mirror the lead car's line and stay close to him and showcase
Yeah.
proximity.
hmm And
that
it's crazy
makes
too. Like you watch racing and you know the racing line, right? You
Yeah,
see the ideal racing line. You see it on the track.
yeah,
Everybody's hitting it. You know what I mean? And they're all hitting it in some way, shape, or form, but they're all trying to outdo each other, right? So
right.
it's like,
correct.
it's just
And then drifting
it's
throws
just
that
crazy.
completely out the window.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking wild.
What's a racing line? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Whatever's faster than the other person.
But yeah, I always say, like, I know a lot of people are critical of FD, and like obviously I've been on multiple podcasts talking about FD, and I think for everyone who loves it, the only reason why we're critical, the only reason why we talk about it or critique it or say anything about it is because we all love it. We want it to get better and grow. That's all. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the fans can be a little weird though. And I
yeah, they're
don't
No.
like
mean like I would say us three are fans, but I think
right.
the typical FD fan, like without any, how do I say this, without uh, any consequence, if that makes sense. A fan without consequence says
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most outlandish shit.
I was
Like
gonna
Yeah,
people
say
would
because
just,
it's like
overly critical, but yeah, I guess that
yes, oh
works too.
yeah, overly critical without any consequence. I feel like if if you any three of us were to say something about FD that we didn't like that were overcritical, there'd be some consequence because we're in the drift scene,
Yeah.
as opposed to some guy who just like, oh yeah, I pulled up in my fucking Civic today to watch FD, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking shit on everybody.
Oh,
I'm gonna
they
shit on
suck.
Kyle Mohan today.
I actually have a thing here. I was commenting on the FD page, and this is silly. This guy is talking about how Odie needs to move to toge racing instead of drifting, right? Because he's not throwing big angle like he's supposed to, right?
What are they
And I'm like,
watching?
so, and my thing is, I respond. I don't usually respond to comments or anything like that,
Yeah.
but like I'm
Get his
trying to
IP
be a
address.
little bit more
I'm upset about
involved.
it.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I don't
Send us the
like
link off the line. We're hopping in on
Yeah,
this one.
I'm upset about this.
it's
Yeah.
it's on the round 7 Utah breakdown. I
Okay.
didn't even watch the full video, but I was like, hey man, there's not a set like degree of angle that makes drifting.
And Odie was hucking shit in St. Louis. I would
From a guy
argue
who
And
the
drives
I
from
most.
thought
lock to lock. He
Yeah,
drives from lock
I
like
thought
to
that
what
lock.
were
was
you
Like,
so
watching?
I thought that was so disrespectful, honestly, like to say something
Yeah.
like
absolutely.
that. Because like who are you? First of all,
First
like
of
that
all, where's your angle, sir? Number one, and second of all, I think you need a new prescription because our
yeah.
boy Odie throws down.
Can I see you
And then
even
the crazy
trying to
part is
drift?
he says that, right? But then Ben Hobson, I think, had the most angle
Absolutely.
all like round, but he got fucking crucified, basically. I
Yeah,
mean, it was too easy. It was so easy to follow that he just, gave it up kind of.
more
You know what I
angles
mean? Like
not necessarily better, but
it's not optimal. There's an optimal
right,
angle to almost every car, and it's always different depending
right,
on what you're running. You know what I mean? You
Track.
can't just
Yeah,
have the
that's fair.
same degree of angle like
right.
on every single car. That's not what
Yeah,
drifting
that's
is.
fair.
It might seem like that on games, but
And based on FD's judging, they would rather see you with, like, I would say a medium amount of angle, but you can maintain the speed through a corner and maintain your angle
fluid.
without making adjustments. They would prefer that than if you like hucked a ton of angle and then drove out of it. They would consider that an error almost.
I feel like that's
I
not
would
what
hope
last
so.
year's winner would say.
Yeah.
Because those are,
Last year's winner. Let's be
yeah,
real. Everyone is a Chelsea Denofa fan. Okay, I
I know.
see it in
So,
the
yeah, we both are. Don't worry. Okay.
I just want to say though that like I would hope that they want that considering how long their fucking zones are.
Oh God, I
Like,
know.
have you ever thought about the fact that like maybe these zones are a little too long? Maybe we don't need 3 long zones. Maybe there could be like 6 zones, but not, that long.
True.
I wonder how good FD drivers would do on that many transitions though, because you have look at
I, I don't mean
Drift
transitions.
Masters
I just mean like
zone.
even like let's say on
They're gonna break.
Utah how there's like
Mhm.
3 zones, right?
Correct.
You
Right.
do that second corner how it's like starting right here and then ends all the way at where it begins straight again. Let's say the zone wasn't like that full fucking arc. You know what I mean? You hit a point, you don't stay the whole outside of the corner because that's not necessarily the whole goal, I feel like, all the time. You hit that zone out there, boom, you hit the course, you go through. There's another zone coming up you got to get to. You know what I mean? Regardless, you got to get to that zone, so you got to like do it fluid, right? You don't necessarily need
Hmm.
to sit in that box the whole time and that be
Yeah.
the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's the
Like,
challenge.
yeah, it's a challenge,
I
but it
feel like that
also,
is the hard part. Like that, you have to adjust angle within that zone.
yes,
You can't, especially at Utah, you cannot set angle and be in the whole zone. Like there's gonna be an
right,
adjustment.
Yeah.
exactly.
But there is
And
that
that's
little small input from Jared who's like, oh, they're in the like there is no adjustment during this in this
yeah,
pocket or in this zone rather. But like
yeah,
some spots call for it. Like there's nothing you can do about adjustment.
Right.
something on
Especially
commentating too.
in Utah and in St. Louis.
Something on commentating too. Some of the commentators lately have been super critical of like drivers and like mistakes and stuff like that. And I honestly feel like it kind of shines a certain light
A
sometimes
brighter
on like
light
judging
for
calls.
judges to look. Yeah, I see that. I
Yeah,
can see
like
that.
hey, maybe we shouldn't open that can of worms and let it run its course.
It's like,
So
Right.
shut
when you
your whore
say
mouth.
things,
Don't say things like that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, no.
yeah,
So
like
I've heard that from drivers as well. So I've heard that some
Yeah, so
drivers
have
feel
I.
that way, and it's coming from that position. I think I can speak on it a little bit. Sometimes it's tough, but I think that it is a challenge as a commentator to be able to like give factual information about the run in front of you
yeah,
without choosing a clear favorite. It's hard,
no,
but
for
that's
Yeah,
like
sure.
the
it's
goal
I
to strive
respect it
for.
for sure.
but you're also just calling it as you see it,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah,
is that fair? Like, I don't see that as a wrong. I know it may not be in your favor as a driver. I understand that, but I think you calling it as you see it, you're just a human being like everybody else is, and so are the two commentators at FD. Like, they're gonna call it like they see it, and I think if we're probably talking about either, um, fuck, I can't remember the guy's name for Prospect, the other
Oh,
commentator. Is it
SOPA.
Matt Sopa?
Yeah,
Yeah,
great dude.
he's a
So I
driver.
think the
I
So
FD
is
like Sopa.
Jacob.
commentators, they're like the best of the best. And I
I
think
agree.
they rarely do that, in my opinion, where they like clearly pick a favorite. I can't really think of any examples.
They
I'm
But
do
they
a
call it
great
obviously
as they
job.
they're
see it. That's not a favorite thing. They're calling it as they
right,
see it
Yeah.
as drivers. That's how I see it.
right.
Hmm.
However, I'm not going to say names again because I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I have watched some live streams from other series where the dude went an entire run with only announcing one of the drivers.
Mm.
And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know if he just knew him better, if he felt like he was putting on a better show, or what was going down, but there's two guys and you need to like make sure you're commentating. And if like one did something super exciting during the run, maybe follow it up with some information about the other one. But I was like watching this and I was like, are we fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah, you're once not allowed to go to
Yeah.
hot pit with me if I'm accepted.
Yeah. But to be clear,
I'll
FD,
go.
I don't think they've ever done that particular thing. So,
No, not specifically.
I don't
No,
think so
no.
either, but the fans call it like they see it, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So you have the announcer calling it like he sees it. He understands the sport to, the highest level. Like, they've been watching it for years. They're very critical, and they call it as they see it. They understand the rules that are there, and then so they're calling it how they see it. But then you see the fans who don't necessarily have all the information for the rules. They're like, oh, this announcer is a scumbag because the way he called it.
yeah.
Like, oh,
And I
you mean
think
he saw him adjust his front wheels?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you want me to do, Chief. Like, that's what he
yeah.
did.
So it's the announcers are right next to the judges. When I used to be a spotter, I would stand as close as I could to the judges because all it matters is what the judges see. And obviously, you
Mhm.
have the live stream, the replays. Now there's a drone. Um, a lot of times, I think when the fans get really angry about a call, every once in a while, I will say some of the calls are wild, but for the most part, it's
Absolutely.
just you didn't have the right vantage point. They didn't really know exactly what the rules were. They weren't aware of this nuance that maybe the judges saw. So I think a little bit more explanation sometimes can be better for that. But obviously, again, we're all human beings judging a
Yeah.
judge sport.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, which kind of also comes back to like the track design and stuff like
yeah,
that. You know what I mean? Like, make it more simple. If the track is more simple, the drifting can be simple. You know what I mean? You can
right.
do, you can be more of a driver if the track is fucking easy. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Low key.
Yeah, you can throw some more
Like,
flair on it, a little more style.
yeah, because when you're drifting in this state of like constant like extreme scenarios, the car is never like actually getting to settle. That's like not necessarily like a full display of a driver's capabilities, and stuff like that. So I don't feel like it's a fair shot most of the time to most drivers who kind of, get displayed as like sucky. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, it's so dynamic. And I get raising the bar and like keeping the level up, but like,
yeah.
you know,
Anybody that says any Formula Drift driver sucks, I'm like, really? Because
Yeah,
they're like the best of the best. So if someone's not
yeah,
doing good that day, what is that? The worst best guy? He's still gonna mop the
yeah.
floor with you, dude. Like, come on now.
Especially, I hate when people shit on Kyle Mohan.
Yeah,
That
because
I
that
I 100% agree. Like it's his engine setup.
yeah,
I know
it's
that
the
if he had an
chassis and
LS,
the
he'd kill
engine he
so many people.
chose.
I
Yeah,
think
Stick
the
it's not
this.
R6
even
is
necessarily the
great.
chassis. I think it's the engine setup.
Yeah,
Like I would love to like if I had like the budget, right? And like I could buy a fucking FD car, I
yeah,
would literally buy one that like somebody probably thought sucked and just to see what is going on. Like I
yeah,
want to see what's going on. I like tweaking with shit. So if I can have like 1,000 cars that I could just do different things with,
yeah. I
I
want to see
definitely
how
would.
hard this is to really drive.
Let's see what this
Yeah,
car
like
is made of.
how
Like,
good can I make this?
yeah, just like we were talking
Yeah,
about the fucking Corolla earlier. A
Yeah.
Corolla they made win the championship. What is that? Once,
Hey,
twice?
guess what then?
yeah.
Trailing arm. Trailing arm, baby.
The
Well, would
Cadillac
you
had a
guys
trailing
say that
arm. Don't talk about
the
it.
Mustangs are particularly easy to drive?
Absolutely not. Those things look miserable to drive.
I would agree.
And
It suits a certain
that's when
style though.
that comes back to the extreme scenarios and cars not being able to settle. Big ass cars like that, you know what I mean? It's kind of rough.
You know who I
Yeah,
think would
Like
kill in a
you
Mustang?
throw a Mustang into a fucking corner at 100 miles per hour and expect it to do something that like yes, their teams do.
Do you know
right.
whose style I think it does complement? Odie's.
Who? Odie?
Really? Y'all see Odie in a Mustang? That'd be sick.
Do you know why? Just because of the way he drives. He's so
I
aggressive.
Yeah,
I
He's
think
and
I
that's
think
what
that
that
Odie
car
could
takes.
definitely set up a Mustang really good, and I think that's what Dean is displaying. What
yeah.
Odie could do in a Mustang.
I
Have you
don't
noticed that?
I don't I don't know because I feel like Dean in the S15 it was so perfect it was almost boring to watch.
I would
That
agree.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's so
It was
funny.
just it
Dude,
was
I'm
like
not
it
gonna
was
lie, that
so
car.
pristine. There's no adjustment, especially like at a track like Irwindale.
Yeah,
He just set it, forget it. Him and Piotr, um, they were
That's setup.
so good in that car.
That's setup, dude.
But I think that Odie can do something in a Mustang that would surprise us, and I think that uh, it would like surpass Vaughn. I think Vaughn drove the Mustang the best, even though Chelsea won last year. I still think Vaughn drove his Mustang the best as opposed to any other driver.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah. I
with
think Vaughn
in
was
regards to the one event Adam
yeah
did, I think he outdrove everybody in
Jersey
RTR
when
ever.
he
Yes,
won. Yeah, he
yes,
was on in that. I
yeah.
think Vaughn is Mr. Consistency in that chassis. I think
Hmm.
Chelsea is just excitement. Like obviously that's
I
just
think
how he's
Absolutely.
always driven.
I think Vaughn has a really wide range of skills,
Yeah,
and
That's what I'm getting at.
I think he just like the way he takes it all in when he's behind the wheel of that thing. He just knows. He just points and shoot, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like he
for
doesn't even.
sure.
He's over here like his hand control on the wheel is super funny to watch. If you ever
I'm gonna
look
have
at
to
his
watch some in car. I haven't seen it.
go and like he's over here like he's not even gripping the wheel. His hands on the wheel like this.
Yeah.
He's like rolling. It's so fucking weird.
Well, have you ever seen the
It's just
guys do like the hover hand over the e-brake and they're like ready just in case they need to go for it in
Nate
chase
Chen.
usually. Oh god, Nate Chen,
Nate Chen
gambler
does that.
regular.
I think I've seen some Aaron Losey in car where he does stuff like that too. But he was making fun of himself too, like on video, saying,
Yeah, that's at least he can laugh at himself.
And
Oh,
then you see guys who chase really well, who should be on handbrake but aren't, and that's like Frederick Osbo. He's not a
Yeah,
lot on
"Yeah,
handbrake. He is a clutch abuser when it comes to his chase
I
route,
drive
and I
like
like
that.
that. Yeah,
yeah.
I am always modulating, bro. I am constantly
is,
slipping that
is
clutch
that from
in
a
the brake.
Seto?
Like, no,
Mine is.
that's from
Mine is. And I'm not proud of
just
it.
driving. Certain people who I watched drive growing up, bro. That's how they do it. Like, I don't even have an LSD in my car, but I drive like I have an LSD in my car. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's you're trying to do these things, you're trying to hit these points. You just want to look cool when you're on track. You're doing it.
Yeah,
I'm doing it how I see other people do it because I know it works. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
for
fair.
sure.
All
Everyone's
right.
got their
Well,
different style, and that's nice.
this is almost
yeah.
over. This is almost 2 hours.
Oh my god, it's because
If
I'm
it is,
here. I'm so bad at yapping. I'm sorry, guys. We can
no,
wrap it.
that's cool.
No, this was pretty good. I like
Let's
this.
let's do who is your who are you predicting for an FD podium? We'll all three go. We'll let Sarah go
At
first.
Irwindale.
Well, no, we're not talking about fucking the Hoover Dam. Yes, Irvindale. Where else are they gonna play? Where else are they going next?
All right. I'm gonna predict. I think Osbo will be on the
Okay.
podium.
Okay.
I think he's like in the hunt. I don't know if he's gonna be able to hit points, but I think he's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna say Turk,
Okay.
another driver who's like kind of in the hunt, hungry, got it in Seattle, hadn't had a podium in a while, and then I'm also gonna say Odie because I think he's just
Okay.
on an absolute mission.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that.
I agree with those.
Yoan?
Um, I definitely could see Odie, James for sure, possibly with no power mistakes or anything like that.
Yeah,
Um, you said Ryan.
yeah. I said
I definitely I could see that for
yeah,
sure. Um, the car is just so different with the inline six. It looks kind of weird, but dude, definitely somebody with an S chassis for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I don't disagree with that. I'm gonna say S
Yeah,
chassis for Odie.
okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna say Matt Field,
Ooh, okay.
and I can't remember the kid's name. What's the kid's name?
Connor Shanahan.
No.
Oh, Hiroya Manoa.
Yes, I'm gonna say Hero Manoia. I
I have
think.
to know how to say his name because I'm like, put me in coach on announcing. I've
Yeah,
practiced.
you better fucking DM tonight. I'm gonna say him just because of the way his car is set up to be on the wall. Because
Yeah,
he's super
Yeah.
loose, but he's not slow, but he's not fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's very
fourth in
attentive.
points, the
I
highest rookie possibly ever. I'm not sure about that, but certainly the highest by far this season.
no,
Yeah.
he is second highest rookie because I think. Well, no, James Dean didn't come as a rookie in 2016.
Connor.
Connor currently
Connor
is
doesn't count.
11th.
He's
I
way
think
behind,
he
but
missed
he's
a
doing a
round
full
though,
season next year. Yeah, he's doing a
He
full
did
season.
miss a round, which is crazy to be this high.
and
and miss a
Hiroya
round.
has 2 freaking podiums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Hiroya has a dream team, man. Like
uh,
I think he's
I
such a
thought
good driver.
what was the driver's last year's name? Nick Novak. I thought he had a dream team and he left them. So,
Novak is
Dude,
just a machine. I've seen him. He's driven for a few of the series I've announced for too. He is absolutely a machine behind the wheel. I saw some in-car footage of him chasing Osbo today, and I was like,
yeah, he is wild. He
yeah.
is wild.
yeah. I've seen Nick Novak driving since Pro-Am. Like since he was driving his E36.
Great dude. He's
Back in the
won at
day.
Irwindale before, or podiumed at Irwindale before.
Last year
Yeah,
he won.
Okay.
Last year he
Yeah.
won.
Well, dark horse
So
action.
you guys remember
Maybe,
that whole
maybe
drama
it
at the
could have been
beginning
the
of the
team.
season?
We don't know. He's on his own this year. We're gonna find
What
out.
drama at the beginning of the season? You'll have to be more specific. There's always
The
drama.
tire.
The tire.
sponsor
No,
drama.
I don't even think that was drama. I think there was just
Well,
like misinformation between, or
was
lack of
kinda
communication rather.
Oh.
But he did make it a thing. He did make
it
it a
was super
thing.
sassy.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, he did make it a thing for sure.
No
He's like,
disrespect, Nick, but
Yeah.
that was a little sassy. You're not gonna see that.
I
Whatever.
mean, good. I
no,
love
it's
that
on
if
his
he
page.
like
It's on his page.
if he heard some shit that
Huh?
wasn't true and like called it out. I love that.
No, I think
Yeah, nah, that'd be cool.
I think there
Whatever.
was a miscommunication with GT Radio.
Yeah.
They did their announcement of drivers, and then he made it a thing instead of just being like, "Hey, can you guys remove this?" He like
Yeah.
made a whole post about it, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
he
way to
was.
burn a bridge,
It was
champ!"
like the chick. It was like a chick curving a dude
Oh
online.
no, he was like the girlfriend who got broken up with, and then she was like,
Oh my
he
god.
didn't break up with me, I broke up with him, or vice versa.
Actually, here's
Just
the
to,
receipts. I mean, I can't blame him.
yeah,
Kendas are
I think there
dope.
was just misinformation
Yeah,
between the
Yeah.
two, and our lack of communication rather, as opposed to
right.
Honestly,
misinformation.
though, because of that, in the beginning of the season, it seemed to like it gave me like a lot of hype for him. But I feel like I don't know what's going on,
I
but
think he's had some
I don't
car
want to speak on
trouble
his current standings.
at multiple rounds. Um,
Yeah,
some engine
I did
trouble.
see
I know
that.
he's had an issue with his like his chassis was separating. It's wild.
That was his
As they
previous
do,
chassis that he got from Rick. It was Alex. I can't remember
Hilburn.
Hilbrum's old chassis.
Yes,
So
I remember when he bought that car and was still driving it with like without the decals, but like with the paint and shit
remember
Yeah.
when I said
at
mine
Bush
was a
Kickers.
third SoCal E46? Alex Hilbrum's was a second.
Does it count though, since those were like in North Carolina or whatever?
No, he was a SoCal guy.
Wasn't that an RTS built car?
Rick was in Orange County until 2015, 2016.
Oh, see, look at that, look at
See?
that, look at that.
Ooh, raise the roof. Sorry.
You know the ledge, dude. You
Yeah.
know the ledge.
Yeah. Andrews was the first,
Yeah,
but
Andrew who?
Atala. He's been on an old podcast before. He has what, you guys remember what Michael Essa won his E46 wide body situation in?
Yes.
Andrew
Yeah.
runs that ugly ass kit, and I was giving him shit about it the other day.
Oh,
Oh, I
you're
fucking
talking about
hate that kit.
like that
That
GT kit thing?
DTM.
Yeah,
I
the
fucking
DTM
hate
looking
that
thing.
kit.
Oh, DTM works, whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
I'm gonna send him this so he remembers it. So I gave him shit
Yeah,
about it.
that is
He
a
was like,
pretty
"What's
silly
wrong with
kid.
my
I'm not
body
gonna
kit?"
lie.
I was like, "Have you seen the way it looks?" Um,
Yeah.
there are better
Amazing.
options for less money. All right, I'm gonna end the recording.
Okay. Thank
Sarah,
you
where can
guys.
people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's just my name, Sarah, Sara, Riordan, Riordan _ Say what's up. Tell me my car's ugly. Say hi, whatever. Send me some cool
That's rude.
memes.
Go give her some random tandems.
Don't do that.
Ooh, I'm not sure anyone wants a tandem with me. I'm a liability behind the wheel.
So are many
man.
others. Don't worry. It's usually a 350Z
Yeah.
with no front bumper.
Computer mouse activities.
There you
Yeah,
go.
thanks for having me on, guys. This was fun. It
That,
was a good
yeah,
hangout.
it's
Yeah,
great.
it's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. Thank you for being on. All right, I'll stop it there.